Fabulous. And so now we have our wonderful guest, Kavya Gupta. And we have her LinkedIn resume in front of us. It's not a resume, it's like a basic, get to know information kind of a thing. It's a work in process. There's a lot of updates being made to this. And Kavya is a part of our wonderful COE, so we'll make sure it is quantified and optimized and all those wonderful things. And she's member of LinkedIn Premium, I hope. Uh, but let's welcome her with our applause, our flowers, our thumbs up signs, and our love. Because Kavya is from, like I said, Kavya is from New Delhi, which happens to be my city where I did my schooling. So I'm proud to have a Dilli wali girl because Dilli dil hai Hindustan ka.
Dilwalo
That's
ki
what
Dilli, absolutely, yeah.
Dil walon ki
Agreed.
Dilli. Yeah, so they're really awesome people with a great heart. And when I saw Kavya smiling, that's what I thought first. So what we'll do today is, guys, we'll begin by thank you, Rupmati. We hear you that you're tuning in from Chennai. Awesome. So Ruby Gunna, I've responded to your text in the group, so please go ahead and watch that whenever we have time, and we can discuss that. But today, right now, we're going to welcome Kavya, who's going to walk us through her profile from schooling onwards, who she is, what she did, what she's doing currently, and other fun things about her. So I'll let her do that first, and following that, we will then move on to the most important part. And Kavya is going to tell us what that part is all about, why she's here, what she's going to talk about. So over to Kavya. And
Thank you
Kavya,
so much.
while you're describing this, while you're walking us through your LinkedIn, and hopefully you can walk us through your YouTube channel also, because Kavya, you'll not believe it. Uh, um, so when I first came to know about you, as I was telling you the other day, I was on YouTube and I was just somebody had forwarded me something and I was looking at that and your name popped up and I saw two videos and both were related to finance and I said, "Wow, this girl is not only confident, she has a wonderful smile. She is describing the concept so patiently to particularly the freshers who are always like a lost sheep." And she's able to shepherd them so well and very patiently listen to them answer their questions. So I loved the session, although it was meant for a particular set of audience. So yeah, so that's what I love the most. And I saw when you send me your Diwali, how you celebrate that in the office. Uh, that that showed me the fun side of you, and so I'm very happy to have a guest like Kavya Gupta. She's no longer a guest, but she's one of us now already. So Kavya, yes, please go ahead and start from. And if we have any questions, we will, because Prem Sai, he's by the way, Prem Sai is an egg-eating individual. He eats a lot of eggs, that and he exercises a lot, and he's a talented co-host. So he might pop in and might ask you questions as well. So we'll do that first. We'll have a couple questions that the audience can ask also, and then we'll move on to the session. Having said that, over to Kavya Gupta.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Arun, for such a delightful, introduction. I don't think anyone could have done it better, especially considering that it's nighttime for you. And usually at night, and people in Delhi are generally Netflix and chill. They don't even prefer talking on the calls. So that's really, it fills me up with motivation. And as I have always said, that, investment in knowledge, investment in you as a person pays the best interest, right? So make sure that the investment that you make in yourself has to give you the highest returns. I do believe that nowadays, you guys must be investing in mid cap stocks or small cap stocks, because they give you returns as well. But trust me, when you invest in your knowledge, when you invest in learning, when you invest in your confidence, your smile, the good vibes in your life, the good deeds that you do, there's nothing bigger than that. So I've always had this mindset in mind, and I have I kick-started my journey back in my school days, when everybody used to call me a person, who's too studious. So at that time I used to feel that, why me? I mean, why can't I have friends? Why can't I enjoy life? Why am I given this label of being too studious? But going ahead, now I realize that it was the importance of being serious back then that has helped me today excel in my life, or at least be in a position that I can help you guys, or mentor you in any possible way. My motto in life has always been that, if I have been able to achieve something, then why not put it across out there, help you guys learn through my experiences, not just the success stories, but definitely the failure stories, because they are the ones, they act as a stepping stone to success. So today I don't want you guys to be very excited about my achievements. Rather, talk to me about the challenges that I faced. So as I'll be walking you through my resume. I have worked as a valuation and a modeling expert with Ernst and Young for the last 2 years. Currently working with another big four for in the areas of corporate finance. My areas of specialization span across corporate finance, equity research, fundamental analysis, even marketing research, right? And as I talked about my experience in valuation, modeling, deal advisory, due diligence, corporate finance, each one of you is free to, connect with me, seek guidance on the same. Well, I have done my schooling back in the year 2023-25, where, as I mentioned about being studious, I secured a 95%. However, at this point, I would like to mention that it's important to have good grades. It's important to focus on who you are, and also, keep working hard, because our education system, our job environment is such that it does prefer candidates who've been there in the good merit list. I hope you guys understand, right? That's one criteria they judge you on. However, as a mentor, I always believe that you are beyond your qualifications. So if you see me as someone who's an MBA, probably I am, but maybe my experience or my knowledge would be based on what I have, based on the skills that I've acquired, and not just the documentations that I hold back in my wardrobe that are lying there. I mean, definitely I keep them safe. It's not like they're full of dust, but yeah, they go out there in digital formats, and that's it. Well, so just walking you through, I completed my graduation in BCom honors from Delhi
Oh, wait,
University.
wait, wait, guy, wait, wait, wait. We have to start from the schooling itself because we'd love to know you right from the school onwards.
All right. Okay. I would like to ask everybody then, if you guys want me to go back then and talk about my volleyball days and how I used to be a sports player.
Sure, sure,
Fine.
absolutely. We need to know your hobbies, and we need to know who was your favorite teacher, what subjects you like, and what
For sure.
uh,
All right.
b- after 12th standard when you got into graduation. How do you choose your stream of study? Those kind of things. We are very engaging audience.
All right. So can I also get a thumbs up from some of you, if you guys are equally excited to walk me through my journey with you guys. All right. Amazing. So now I can see a few hearts, claps, a lot of things. Well, let's begin then. So, now what you see in front of you might be a very confident individual, who's always smiling, talking about life, talking about her experiences. But back in the year 2015, there was a completely opposite girl who used to shy away from going to a restaurant, ordering a burger. I used to tell my brother, can you do it for me? I can't do it. I'm pretty shy. I don't know how to ask for it. To someone
I'm
who's
still
come so
I'm
far.
still I'm still shy myself, Kavya. I have to talk to people like you, Prem Sai, Sanjay, Muskan, Rashika, just to improve my English every day.
I think you're wonderful, Arun. You're
I'm
just
the
being
I'm the I'm,
modest.
I'm the world's freshest fresher. I'm known as I'm known by that in all the groups as world's freshest fresher.
Well,
Yeah, please
this
go ahead.
shows, well, I think this only shows how humble of a mentor and a person you are, and how modest and grounded. So, well, I think there's a lot to learn from you. Going ahead, I just, as I see one of you had your video on, while I was speaking, I think when we talked about being shy, that is the first thing we do, right? We switch off our cameras. We don't want to interact. I just want to make sure that most of you are not sleeping, because if you've logged in from India, Probably I can imagine you on the bed, relaxing, chilling, probably having a cup of tea. So, Devrishi, thanks a lot for being there, encouraging me even more. Guys, why not? Like, I also got up early today for you guys to, plan everything out. Let me see some of your beautiful faces. Why not? And not just faces, but smile through it, right? That's how we make it interactive. Okay, going ahead, so in my schooling days, probably I had no idea what I wanted to do till my 10th, right? But despite being a very studious person, I used to read and learn everything and anything from everywhere I could gather, right? I developed a keen interest in playing volleyball. I was a art editor of my school. So that fills me up with a lot of excitement because I have a very creative side to me. Some of you, who might be having a passion towards, say you also want to come up with a YouTube channel, or probably you like playing sports, or, you do some sort of creativity. So I was that person in my schooling where I used to always have a sketch pad where I used to doodle a lot. So doodling is a form of art, right? Most of us now know from Instagram. Thanks to Instagram, it has taught us a lot of things, right? So yeah, I mean, as I've also mentioned that I was the editor head of my school, a part of the student council. That brings a lot of responsibility, guys. But also being a girl who was so shy, I wasn't able to face a crowd. I was very camera shy. But luckily, in my time, I won't say I was the previous generation. I am as the same generation as you, but back then in schools, we were not even expected to have our cameras on. There was no system of Zoom and Google Meet happening. We couldn't escape all those dreaded, subjects and everything. So we used to go there, sit in the classrooms, attend all those vivas and whatnot. Somebody even cursed the teachers and the faculties for being such a nuisance to us. And some of the students, especially, so I was studious, but I was not in that topper batch, that one person in the class who always used to say, "Ma'am, you gave us homework, remember?" So I was not that person, right? But yeah, so there was a balance. I used to study when it was important. I used to play sports when it was important. Gradually, during my school days, I learned the importance of savings because I come from a family where my parents used to, give me a little bit of money and say, "This is all you've got. You have to manage it through this." I realized that,
Your
how
parents gave you money? I didn't get anything in the school.
especially with a place like Delhi in India where we are always hopping onto junk food. They know that if we don't give them let's say 100 rupees, they'll just I don't know do what. But yeah, I think it was important to survive through the canteen, lip smacking food that we used to get in all the Delhi schools. I think one of them mentioned they from Delhi public school, right? So he or she can imagine how much we used to wait for the break time to happen to have all those spring rolls and all of those things in school. And definitely they weren't free. So it was a delight to be a part of schooling. And trust me, guys, aaj tak I remember those days. I remember the time that I mean, yeah, yeah, when you earn, it is not important, but when you save, it is important, definitely. And, also when I was in school, कोई टेंशन नहीं होती थी कि कमा रहे हैं नहीं कमा रहे हैं पैसे मिल जाते थे. So that was like, oh my god, this is my achievement. I have 100 rupee in my pocket. Tell me, what do you want? I used to go around. I was also labeled as someone who is the stationery of college because of my school, because I used
Kaveri,
to
you have to tell
carry.
me one thing. You have to tell me
Yeah,
one thing. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
I used to, I was near IT Delhi. I lived all my life near IT Delhi campus. And I used to drive to my school, which was St. Paul's in New Delhi. I used to ride to my school on my own bicycle every day and come back the same way. So were you one of those rich girls who went to school in the DTC or the car, your own car or your own vehicle? Because I
Very
wasn't
good
rich.
question.
Yeah.
So basically, Arun, it's about being a Delhiite. I can say that पैसे तो बहुत है, गाड़ी भी है, but बस में travel किया. But I will I will not bring that up. But I'll be very utmost honest here. So I mean, no, I think parents were pretty rich. No, no, Umesh, there's nothing like that. It's just a very subjective term. I know you will say that I'm being very psychological here, but richness comes from how you treat people. I genuinely believe that it's not about how much money do you have in your
True,
bank
true,
account.
true. Yeah,
No, right.
true. Very
So,
true.
so Arun, just answering your question, I used to have this bus. It used to be called GFS 7, and I used to be good friends with the driver and the conductor, because I used to always treat them with sweets. So my mom used to drop me at the bus stop, and she used to carry something in the morning. So the driver used to think, oh my God, such a good mother she is. She's always carrying things for me. But he didn't know that, to his surprise, it was my breakfast that is being carried from the table to the bus stop, because I was always late to school. And I think not just me, let me not feel guilty, guys. All
Right.
of you have been late, right? And सबके parents ने ये बोल के उनको उठाया है that बहुत late हो गया है. It's already 8 in the morning, although it is 6 in the morning, right? So this happens, and I think these are the things we still miss. These are the things that we might never get back, and probably with so much technology coming in, I'm not sure if the next generation would also be able to enjoy this. But all we can do is that, if some of you, are in the on the verge of getting married or are married and have kids, please make sure that your next generation gets that kind of a fun and playful childhood, because nowadays, with this idiotic thing coming up, your phones, right, it's on fire. So, well, I think I've got given you guys a lot of information about my school, to a point that you can track down my faculties. You can you can get in
Yeah,
touch with them and
yeah.
probably ask them that, did she say the right thing or not, right?
Okay, so
So
let's move on to your. So after your 12th standard, everybody's at crossroads and try to figure out अब क्या करना है, मेरा आगे क्या होना है, what will I do in
absolutely.
future? So how do you so what options do you have in mind and how do you progress?
Fine. Because I already took commerce back then, I had commerce. I used to study accountancy. I used to study some sort of finance. Although, especially if you are a graduate, I'll obviously be talking in detail about this when I present a short presentation. But at this point, nobody, literally nobody, not even your parents, expect you to have 100% clarity of what you want to do, especially not by the time you do your 12th. But you should have an utmost clarity of what drives you as a person. Are you someone who's more interested in the financials? Are you more interested in what the political scenario is? The pestle analysis is what I'm talking about. So I'll be now bringing in a few technical terms for all of you to understand. Pestle is a term in marketing, that is considered to assess a particular industry or a company, and talks about the political factors, economic factors, the legal factors, etc. So you are not in a position to do that. So, but with me, I was lucky that I worked hard. I worked really really hard in 12th. I secured a good percentage, but with just having a 95%, I mean, people from Delhi know that you don't get anything. So I also want to share here that, despite having a 95 percentile, I was not sure if I'll be getting into, the north campus or the south campus of the most prestigious Delhi university that all of us intend to be a part of. And let me also share at this point that I did have a clarity that I want to do something in accounting or finance, which I was sure कि eventually मैं figure out कर ही लूंगी मुझे क्या करना है. But at this point, I was like, let's take commerce, because humanities मुझसे होगी नहीं. I didn't like doing history, political science, etc. And science was too much for me. Reason being that if I had to take up science, I wanted to take bio, because I used to feel excited about the logics behind things. So ये मेरे साथ starting से है that I always used to feel intrigued. So let's say we all have learned about this, the eye, how the what the structure of the eye is, or the structure of our heart. Obviously it's not this, right? It's a different looking structure of the heart. So we realized it back then, but I used to feel that no, maybe I'm not mentally prepared to get into those needles kind of things and get scratch a human being and see what is there inside. So yeah, I think commerce was the best option for me, also because my father is from a business background, my uncle is a CA. So back then I used to see them with a lot of accounting and talking about a lot of home finances. Eventually took up commerce, eventually took up BCom honors in my Delhi university. But one thing I really want to tell you guys is never feel discouraged about where you are. It happens. There are times jab आप नहीं बता पाते हो, but the reasons why you scored less. I come across so many of you that say, "Ma'am, मेरे 60% ही आए हैं, मेरे 70% ही." Trust me, guys, it's not a representation of who you are, right? It just shows that you worked enough, you worked hard. Probably you are not well, right? Probably आपके घर में कोई ऐसी situation हो गई that was unavoidable. It happens. It's all about being able to justify the same. I'm not encouraging a behavior that you don't study at hard at all. Try your ultimate best, give it your all, but still, if you're not able to secure that much of a percentage, it's fine, because recruiters, or people who are sitting at the top tier one of any organization, even if it's a big four or your dream company, has had a similar experience in life. So what connects all of us first is, as humans, the things that we go through. The second of it is, the skill sets and our personal experiences. So always remember that honesty will take you a long distance, and at the same time a bit of smartness. Well, yeah, I think that was more about my graduation year. I got into a college in my graduation in the fifth cutoff. Can you believe it? Having a 95%, you feel very, you feel that laddu batwa do puri colony mein. And your parents start to your absolutely, that is the attitude. Genuinely,
I
Arun, I think when you tell
I
your
feel you.
parents,
I feel you, Kavya. I had a 98, so I truly understand what you're talking about being from Delhi.
yeah, yeah, that happens. And they are like, they're the first one to call all the relatives, who they feel will feel probably jealous, or they'll feel, oh my God, my son couldn't, my daughter couldn't. They'll call them. In fact, the relatives would call you way before your interview is declared, and they'll be more curious to know, अच्छा, only 95? कुछ नहीं मिलेगा क्योंकि मेरे वाले के 97 आया है. So those sort of pressures you always face. It's not just about graduation or your 12th, but you do face that. So
Yeah, Kavya, as the word pressure, you used an important term that you said was for marketing in other industries. You said something like pestel. Initially, I had heard it as pester only because I have been pestered by 70 plus emails in just in the last hour. But then I realized that Kavya is not talking about pestering; she's talking about pestle. Can
yeah,
you can you please confirm my understanding that if I break it up, it stands for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors. Is this what is
absolutely.
meant by pestle?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you, thank you. I I I,
Yeah.
I always confirm my learning from the gurus like Kavya because
Oh my.
because that's how I gain insights. Just 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 like the organizations gain insight into external forces that influence their operations, decision-making processes. Same way, I'm influenced by Kavya today.
Oh my God, such heavy words on me, Arun. I mean, I don't know what am I going to do with so much of, trust that you've put on me. And I hope that students are already getting to learn and they feel engaged. Now they're all up and having tea or whatever, but then they're sitting like you and me and attending this session and not
So
still on the
so
bed. So guys, get
yeah.
up and get ready. Yeah.
So Kavya, आपने जब when you finish your you know 10 12 तो कर लिया, कॉलेज में भी एडमिशन हो गया. So how did you, like, in next couple minutes, can you help us understand what happened next? I mean, उसके बाद कहाँ गए आप, क्या किया?
Right, right, sure. So in my graduation, I realized that the focus was more on accounting, and I think some of you who come from a BCom background probably will understand that BCom does not particularly talk about your core interest in finance or accounting or some other area. So that is where the confusion starts happening. That whether I am more inclined towards an accounting part of it or a finance part of it, and then we start getting confused that, do I need to learn accounting and finance? Is finance needed for accounting? So we don't need have a clarity. So I always knew that being able to maximize somebody's wealth, or being able to, when I used to see people guiding others, invest here, invest there, I never used to realize the same in my graduation. But I knew that I want to do something like this in the future. I want to be able to be in a position that I can help people manage their money, because when I only got 100 rupees, it used to just fly away in minutes. So how do I save that? How do I make that 100 200? How do I manage that 100 so I'm able to survive through it for 2 more days? So that led to me eventually realizing that I'm more inclined towards the finance side of it, which I will obviously talk in my presentation. Understanding that finance is something I wanted to do, I did not immediately want to hop on to do an MBA, because MBA in India particularly, and even abroad, calls for a lot of prerequisites. There are a lot of exams you need to clear. There is CAT, ZAT, MAT, SNAP, right? And CAT is a very small word, but it's something that takes away a lot of your happiness, in terms of you having to sacrifice on your parties, on your family gatherings. You have to be so serious about it, because you don't want a gap year, right? Because gap years are generally taken in a negative sense, particularly from a recruiter mindset. But if you're able to justify it, it's absolutely normal. So again, I didn't want to hop on to do an MBA, and hence I decided to do a course on financial modeling and valuation, where I can get at least some hands-on experience. So in my BCom, I did some finance subjects such as financial management. I had FM, where I read about working capital. I read about different time value of money concept, etc. But it wasn't enough for me to immediately start finding a job in finance. So definitely, we look for courses, we look for a very knowledge packed course to do. So I did my financial modeling course from IMS Pro School. I will be talking about the other courses you guys can do, or plan to do, particularly if you're in Delhi. Well, this course helped me develop on the foundations of equity research. I started practicing a lot of advanced Excel. I think that is the most primary tool, yet the most important in the industry at this point of time. Then I used to make a lot of franchisee models for fundamental analysis. So started picking up at a pace that I was independently able to analyze that, yes, this is what I want. So imagine, someone who is now in core finance was also back then in a position that, am I sure this is what I want? Am I really into this? You don't know. You only know when you get some sort of a practicality to the theatrical books you have read so far. Hence, it's very important to get into the right internships, get some practical exposures. It might not really be coming from your internships. It can come from a voluntary experience, or you talking to somebody uh, you know on LinkedIn. So that's how it is. I did my MCOM simultaneously when I was preparing for CAT, right? Also, guys, I did secure good in CAT, not to a point that we expect to get into IIMs, but I have a thing that I want to share which might not be relevant, but I am very close to my family and my parents, and I did not want to leave Delhi just because I want to do an MBA. Because, see, the long term goal for me was to get into something that gives me a good start. And once I got a good start, now I know I'm capable enough to prove my mettle and be where people from other universities are. I am nowhere degrading what they have done and what I have done. But, if you walk through my experience on LinkedIn, probably spend some time, go through it, go through the recommendations, go through the certifications I have done. I have shared a lot of my stories on my YouTube channel as well. I have talked about the technical questions that were asked, so many things, how my MBA has helped me excel, and a lot of more things, right? So, despite the fact that wherever I did my MBA from, I did my MBA from a dual specialization in finance and business analytics. I have won a couple of awards in my MBA. So, how
Yay!
so I was the semester topper for the first and the third semester. I got an award directly by a vice president. It was a delight to have him on board in our college, and so many things goes around, so many achievements, little things that you come across that you really wish to share with everybody. So I've also made a post on the same on my LinkedIn. I'm quite active. I keep sharing everything. So just go through some of the recent postings I've made on my LinkedIn, and you'll also see a picture of me wearing that convocation dress, wearing that hat, having my degree in hand. So that might just motivate some of you to keep going ahead. Well, yeah, so this is just walking you through what I have done so far. I still
Fantastic.
intend to do CFA going ahead. So let's see, we all are together in this, and I'm sure you will get to experience my journey, because I am not going anywhere. If Arun gives me a chance to take this session, I'm pretty sure I'm coming back to enlighten you guys on different topics. So I'll be
we'll
back
we'll
soon,
we'll
guys.
we'll
Yeah.
have you for many more sessions. But so Kavya, one of the things that a lot of people ask us, regardless of whether they are from finance profiles or they are switching to finance profiles, or there are data analysts or some analyst who's trying to become a financial analyst. So they ask us, where should we do our internships important and should we do them? So let's tackle this question right away.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, just taking you a little at the back, Arun. So first, when you say I'm ready to do an internship, let me ask you: are you good or well equipped with the topics you've already done in your graduation? So let's say that so nobody expects you to do an internship in class 12th. Let me break it down in a way that you are in your graduation wanting to do an internship. Second scenario is you've already done your graduation, did not get an internship, and now you are in your post graduation who's looking for a SIP, which is a summer internship program, which is a mandatory requirement by AICTE approved colleges that you have to do an internship as a part of your course. So let's take the first scenario first and let's discuss in short. Let's say you are a BCom person, who wants to get some sort of practical experience elsewhere. Now, the first question: are you sure that you are good with accounting? Are you sure you're scoring well in your subjects? Are you having that communication amongst your faculties, amongst your group, that you feel that yes, I'm ready for an internship? Because see, we have this culture, or we have an answer to the, we always think that okay, let me just hop onto it because everybody is doing it. But tell me, is it really important to think that way? So let me put it across in a way that, so guys, what is your purpose in life? Maybe 25, 26 of you that joined, not everybody of you have a job perspective in mind. Some of you are entrepreneurs. Have you ever explored that? So first step is always to be clear on what your purpose in life is, what drives you, right? I am assuming that you are prepared to enter the corporate world. As a first step, you want an internship. Now for an internship, definitely a resume is important. But if you are a BCom person, your college might offer you a lot of ample amount of opportunities. It might give you opportunities to be a part of live projects, etc. I will never suggest you pay for any internship just because you're getting exposure. So never spend your parents hard earned money. you know e- so let's say that you have a passion towards doing something else and you earn your own money, spend it however you want. But I will never suggest you pay to an agency or a third party to do an internship. Be capable enough to trust your skills, to trust the subjects you've learned, to trust where you are, and then you go ahead and do the same. So as far as internships are concerned, yes, it's a big thumbs up. You should be very active in searching for internships. When I was in my graduation and MBA, I fetched a lot of internships from Internshala, from Freshers World, and LinkedIn has played 90% of the role in giving me all the internships I've done. So if we can just move up a little, I would just request, Varun, if we can just move up. I wanted to show them the internships that I have fetched as a part of my graduation and post graduation.
Fantastic. The most you covering the most important topic, and my Prem Sai, if you are not already eating omelets early in the morning, can you please take the profile up? Earth to Prem Sai, Control Center to Prem Sai. Prem Sai, please, please. I always do that to him, Kavya. In between, he vanishes somewhere for a second or two, and he forgets to move the profile up. Or Kavya, if you want, can you close down Prem Sai?
Just a moment. Yeah.
Prem Sai, if you can close down, Kavya will be able to present from her own thing. And I also want to talk a little bit about her videos before we jump into the topic next. Um, Prem Sai, can you close down? Prem Sai, don't make me call you.
Arun, even if he is not, you can start screen sharing.
Okay,
Hi
yeah,
Arun,
let's.
I have posted my query in the chat.
Yeah, Anand, hold on. Just hold on. We have to get Prem Sai to be awake. Um, um, so Kavya, why don't you just start presenting? Even if I'll in the meantime I'll try to reach him.
Sure, sure. I'm just opening my LinkedIn profile. I think I don't usually have it on, everyone.
It doesn't
So,
matter. You can talk.
no.
You don't have to like show every single line, but you can, if you want, you can talk through it or present it. That's
Right. So, okay, let me just start talking about it. Meanwhile, the page is loading. Well, I started my internship in accounting, right? So one second, I think I'll just show you as well. Is it still loading for you guys? Okay, no worries. Well, so I started my internship, with UFIS Learning. It's one of a publishing house, and I did my internship in accounting. So I was a part of the accounts payable, where
Kavya, we are, yeah, I thought we lost your voice for a second.
Yeah. Yes.
Her internet is slow. I guess someone else needs to screen share because as soon as he
postgraduate. So a
started
lot of
screen sharing.
opportunities come in through those kind of degrees and certificates.
Yes, we lost
Somehow,
Kavya's
Her,
voice on
her
screen.
voice is breaking.
am I
Someone else
audible?
needs to screen share. Kavya,
Hold on, Kavya. Kavya, if you can shut off your, if you want, you can be, somebody else can show her profile. Ram, can you do that? Or anybody else in the, Sandhya, you're supposed to be the backup co-host. Where are you?
Yes, sir, and I'm here. I'm opening Kavya's account.
Thank you. I like you. And frames are
Think
going to get
Premisa is that.
careful. Yeah. So Kavya, where do you want her to go? Because when you show the video and this thing online, since your internet in Delhi may be slow, if you use both, it sometimes
Yeah.
takes you off the audio. Yeah. Yeah. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Am I audible clearly? Just confirm so I can go ahead.
Yes.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Sure.
yes,
Take
sir.
care. Okay. So just scroll a little down to the experience section. Maybe at the first experience I gained, yeah, there are many more. So again, don't feel very intrigued by the fact that, oh my God, she's done so many internships. Well, they've been for a short duration. And also, if you're smart enough, if you're a hardworking individual, you will be able to manage one after the other. The entire question is, where do you get these from? I think I've already taken up that I have been able to fetch almost all of these from LinkedIn. Why did I get it from LinkedIn? Because I was literally very actively posting things I have learned from each and every internship that I acquired. So, as I talked about being an accounting and a finance intern at UFIS Learning, so this was something that gave me a start. It just helped me brush up my communication. As I said, that I was clear that I wanted to get into finance, and I think most of you struggle with the fact that I don't get into finance roles. They want an experienced person, but I'm not experienced. I'm a fresher. How do I get into it? So this is something that, guys, that still needs. So it's a paheli that is not yet solved, because I know that you all face this situation ki company ko chahiye koi to fresher ho. Kabhi na kabhi to they have to take a fresher na, tabhi to experience aayega, and then experience leke I can go and look for a job. But we also have to understand that, if organizations, and especially the ones you're targeting, are looking for a finance person with experience, then try and get some sort of an experience in accounting. But it doesn't make sense to me that you are a BCom person interested to make a career in finance, and you are doing an internship in marketing, or you're doing an internship in some other domain completely different from finance and accounting, just because you did not land up an internship in accounting and finance. So some of the tips I would give you is, talk to the people you connected to on LinkedIn in a very professional way. Ask them if they can give you some sort of a life project, if not an internship. Make your objective very clear that I don't need a stipend, I need learning. So I always used to approach these senior managers, these managers from different companies, and offering internships. That, so if you look at my background, I'm a curious learner, I'm a keen learner, I want to go ahead and do this internship because this will help me grow, right? So I'll be talking more about that because I have mentioned these things in my presentation. But probably at this moment, I can say, or I can just walk you through that. I did an internship with Vardhan Consulting Engineers, again in financial modeling and analysis. So these people provide you some recordings. So why, how did it help me? They provided me some recordings. Basis that recording, I had to prepare a model. So अब आप मुझसे कहोगे कि which courses should I do, or I saw a question in the comments that मैं कहाँ से करूँ अपनी financial modeling. Definitely you need a full fledged guideline on how to do it, but इस टाइम तक आई हैड नॉट डन एनीथिंग. इस टाइम तक जो मेरे को इंटर्नशिप में एक्सपीरियंस मिला, that developed on my concepts that I learned in different courses. So anyone, so there are two options. You can pay a 40,000 to someone and do a full-fledged financial modeling course, which will entirely be based on theory, and then आपको practical experience के लिए दोबारा मेहनत करनी है. Or else you get some sort of an internship experience, build on your concepts, be very sure this is what works for you, you know the chronology, you know the systematic way of working, and then you pick up a simple Udemy course which only will charge you say $1,000 and less. So that's how you develop. No, so when I share my profile, nobody will shortlist me basis that I have done it from IMS Pro School. They will shortlist me on the basis that whether I am able to justify what I've mentioned in my resume. So let's say that I've mentioned I have a certificate in financial modeling and valuation from Udemy. They'll ask me, tell me what is valuation, tell me the methods of valuation. And if I'm able to answer it, tell me, you guys tell me, does it matter whether it's coming from an institute like IMS or Udemy? If I am able to answer in the same exact manner that I would, even if I spend 1,40,000 or even $400, tell me yes or no. So you answer a no if you feel no, it does not matter. You answer a yes if you feel that from where you did a certificate makes a lot of sense. Exactly, skills over institute all the time. So it's the same as saying that maybe I did my MBA from a tier 2 college, but I got a big 4 experience, while probably people have done their MBA from a better college but are still struggling to get big into big fours. No offense to them, but there must be something that is lacking amongst ourselves that we need to find out and work additionally, or make an extra conscious effort to go there. So if I say my life has been easy, no, I will not say that, because I know it has taken a lot of push from my end. And there were times my friends were chilling, partying, but I knew I wanted to bridge this gap that I have because of doing an MBA from a tier 2 college. So instead of being called as an IM graduate, what I did is I did extra effort, additional effort. I worked for 10 more hours to get these internships. And trust me, if I can, there is nothing in the world that can stop you guys, because I was even lower in category when it came to the confidence communication that you people have at this stage back then when I was your age. So understand this thing and always count me in for any motivation you need, because I know that some people in your life, it could, for me it was my parents, it might be some of my friends that played a very crucial role. And you have Arun, you have Prem Sai, who are tirelessly working for you guys, right? Now you even have me in the network. So try to leverage us. Hame parishan karo, hame karo message, we don't mind that, right? All we mind is it should make sense, right? Your messages should make sense, it should give out a clear picture of what you're asking. So it's simply about
Kavya,
saying that reach us in a professional way. That's all we ask for.
Kavya, with you around, I'm feeling so happy that I can retire. All right. So thank you for giving like wonderful insights into some internships. And I know that there'll be questions and questions on unending questions. We take some of the questions after the sessions if you have time, or of course people can always reach out to your LinkedIn. But one thing I'm very interested in is your YouTube channel that you have. I want to just show them like at a very high level, or perhaps if you have it in Canva or something as a part of a presentation, you can show that. Whatever way you want to, this is a free flow session. We don't, I mean, whatever way you want to talk about your YouTube. Because the reason I'm interested in that is because I saw, I was, like I said, I was particularly impressed by a couple finance videos, because at that point in time I was watching about those two things, and I was very happy to see a smiley girl with a great content. So I would usually I don't like to talk about promotions and all those kind of things, but just because I love your channel, I'm going to break my rule and talk about it a little bit.
Thank you so much, Arun, and that will be like a great shootout to my channel. But all I would like to mention at this stage is that it's called KGF for a reason. So I'm
Ah,
sure you've got you guys have watched that movie and is a big fan. So KGF is nothing but Kavya Gupta Finance. I've kept it very simple, and trust me, it's my birthright. They happen to have stolen my the first two initials, and the last F comes eventually from my graduation stage, right? So it's a very, I think some of you might find it intriguing, the name and everything, but focus more on the content. Let me know the kind of things you want me to talk more about, and yeah, all I can say is that what I have learned from my father is you tell somebody 5 and you give them 10. That's better. So I'll just walk you through what I've presented today. If you guys find it valuable, you guys like it, I do not even have to promote it and mention. I'm sure all of you are going to spend
no,
an
it's
equal
not about
amount of
promote.
time
I just,
exploring it.
but I do want to I know exactly what you're saying, and it's very nice of you. But if you can just can guys somebody whosoever is presenting this, I think it's Sandhya, right?
It's Prem only here.
So can you quickly go to her YouTube, because I want to spend a minute on that. Just the YouTube call. Just go to youtube.com and go to KGF.
So I think we can just navigate in through the same LinkedIn profile. Arun. It's
Oh,
there
really?
on my LinkedIn. Yeah, we can just click on my name and it's there on the featured section.
Wow, kya baat hai. So, guys, those of you who do not have a good banner like hers, please ensure that your banners look good.
Yeah.
And this is a part of your resume thingy. You should have a featured section on your. Even though you may not have a YouTube channel like her, but you should have something in the
Hello
featured section.
everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel where in this
we
video
Yay!
we can
I'm going to
probably
cover
play
two
some
Oh,
other
questions
video.
that I
This is a very
repetitively get
general
from a
one.
lot of
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
first question first.
Can you go to some other video, please? Yeah, go to
Yeah,
the
just the
finance.
channel probably.
Yeah.
Oh, you've not subscribed
Hi
to my
everyone
channel.
and
Please
welcome
do
back
it.
to my YouTube channel. I am really happy
Okay.
that आप लोग second part देख रहे
So,
हो अभी इस
Yay!
video का and
yeah.
जिसने भी first part नहीं देखा I request कि
Okay,
आप
so
पहले part
go
A
to
देखो
video
क्योंकि इस
section
part A में I
first.
have talked about two major websites.
So
So
thank
as you
you.
can walk through, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're just seeing what kind of topics we have, so that the people who are particularly who are freshers or people who are interested in finance, they uh, this is a channel I loved. So Kavya, just talk about the topics that you've posted here, just the topics, and then we can move on to the presentation.
Sure, sure. So, my objective was to kind of, so my purpose of my YouTube is to kind of prepare you all for any technical interview that you might face. Because, just generally talking about the topics doesn't help. So, I try and cover topics starting from the financial statement analysis, what is income statement, balance sheet. So, my content is more to do with the skill sets needed, the financial statement analysis. I've had a detailed video on that. Then recently I've also introduced the concept of expert talks, right? So we'll be connecting with a lot of people from the industry that I know in my experience that can help you give a good heads up on what is coming up in the industry. So today I'll be posting a video on taxation in detail. You can just go have a look. I've talked about the basics of accounting, how can you manage the risk. So how do you calculate beta in Excel, some advanced Excel functions. You'll also get to see some glimpses of my corporate journey, etc. And time and again, maybe some sort of a fun element to it, just by letting you guys know what I do with all the money that I earn, with all the time that I earn apart from my work. So I also try and share those fun short vlogs with my audience.
If
So
I
these
come to
two,
Delhi, you can buy me a coffee, another chai or a coffee from Bikaneri for me.
definitely, Bikaner has gone long back in the list. Now it's Tim Hortons and Costa and Starbucks. So we have all those
Um,
fancy names coming
in
up.
my days when the barista came up for the first time, I was like, these days when I go to Delhi, I don't even recognize anything from Delhi. I just ask my driver chauffeur, tell me, you know, to take me somewhere where I can get good food, and wherever he takes me is where I go. Or
Now
my
you know who
clients
to
are.
ask, Arun.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you for showing the whosoever was showing this channels, Sandhya or somebody. Uh, so yeah, people can. So guys, if you want, I loved a lot of parts of the channel, and she's continuously updating it. And so Kavya, I had asked this to somebody else yesterday, I guess. How much time do you take to like prepare a video
Um,
in
so
general?
Arun,
Like,
yeah, okay. So basically, for me, it's on the weekends because on the weekends, I'm always engaged with some sessions, some webinars, and all of those things. It does take time, but for me, see, I can say that, it's always planned, but no, it's not planned for me. It's always very spontaneous. So depending on the comments that I receive. So I have received a few comments recently that, I want to learn how do you write an email to a recruiter when you're sending across a resume. Very basic and a fundamental thing, but also something that if it goes wrong, it might give a wrong impression to the recruiter. So I have personally received a lot of resumes with no subject, no body, it's just the resume. It doesn't help. I only don't open those emails. So depending on what the students are offering, I try and manage my time. And as I said, there are 3 to 4 videos coming up this weekend. I am literally pushing myself, despite having a very hectic job. When you work in an audit firm, you guys can understand. And fortunately, unfortunately, working with the Indian practice at the moment. So Indian practice is
yeah,
like, I don't
oh
want to
yeah,
talk about it, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Slave drivers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they'll call you at 10 at night and say, "Oh, can you work?" And you don't have an option of saying no because
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
urgent. So
yeah.
that
I get
happens.
that.
But yeah, it's a fun ride because I'm really passionate about this. And so what distinguishes me, or rather what you'll always find me doing, is I'm very spontaneous with responding to your comments. Try doing that, experience it for yourself. If you like it, do recommend it to your friends as well, because I do
My
feel that.
my Kavya, my drivers are Sanjay Chandra, Prem Sai, particularly Prem Sai. This is one person whom I absolutely adore. However, he slave drives me, makes me get up like an odd hours in the night, early mornings, sometimes in the afternoon. He can call me up anytime and say, "You have to deliver a session, or you have to take this, you have to give the answers to the people." So even now, he just said, "I had a network issue, but I'm here watching you." So he's
Okay,
anyhow.
that's great.
So guys, please go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you find us useful, and keep watching her, wonderful videos that she's coming up with, and share with friends, family, significant half, girlfriends, boyfriends, mom, dads, whosoever is interested. Please do share. I know Madhura Tatkari is one of the very very important members who's been very active with various kind of internships, and she is already subscribed. Umesh Dhole is basically saying, some other day she would like to talk, bring you back. The people are already, they haven't even heard you. They are saying, bring her back and let's talk about investment banking or Big Four, what the process are. Somebody's talking about internship. Oh my gosh, Kavya, one thing when I usually get my guests, people have difficulty in coming up with questions, but I think your smile has a great effect, because everybody's motivating me now to call you back for Ramki says, not just accounts, investments, taxation, and this chat box on fire. So I and Madhura says I can give you more topics as a become fresher, suggestions, and my gosh, all right. All right. So, Kavya, before I get flooded by any more texts asking you questions, I will I'll be happy if you can give them your. I think we have given them your LinkedIn ID already, so people can reach out to you. And I don't know what all platforms you're on. So, guys, please talk to Kavya through her LinkedIn profile. Feel free. Thank you, Kavya, for saving me time, because if they're all coming to you, I will have to spend. I can sleep some more sometime. All right. I'm just kidding, though. All right. So Kavya, are we ready now to begin with the our wonderful presentation? Now
Yeah,
that we have
I'm on the go. Yeah, yeah. I'll be just doing the same. So just a confirmation from everybody. Are
just
you guys here? Are you ready for me to start?
Okay, please show her some love by your emojis, your applause signs, your flowers, your thumbs up, and your love signs. Come on. And this I don't understand what these emojis are, so I'm posting these signs called hee hee ha. They're like crying with happiness kind of signs. In our generation, we did not have emojis. We used to just meet people in person and talk to talk to them and tell them we love your session in person. I wish
Great,
I
great,
wish we
great.
had YouTube and meetups and all these. We would have had a wonderful time. All right, please go ahead, Kavya.
Yeah,
Over to you.
so
Over to
can you
you.
see my screen, everyone? Yeah, just confirm
Yes,
if
yes,
my
ma'am.
screen is visible to everyone. All right. So let's begin, guys.
Yes.
Officially, let's begin. No more promotions, no more talking about my YouTube and LinkedIn. Let's get to the point. Well, as you can see on the screen, that one important key to success is self-confidence, and an important key to self-confidence is preparation. I think already talked a lot about it. I talked about the importance of learning and how it should never stop, right? So yeah, I think I've also talked a lot about who I am, what I do. Just a quick glimpse through so that you can read through. I believe in the saying that knowledge and investment pays the best interest. I have been fortunate to help a lot of students like you exceed and succeed, in building a career in finance and accounting. I have a prior experience working with EY and other big fours where, my experience was cross dimensional, not just restricted to valuation and modeling. I continue to aspire the same. I will continue to help you guys grow and learn in any way that I can. So, well, before I move ahead, I have to talk about, a few things, or rather a check. So, tell me who the first person in the picture in this screen that you see is. Let's just check how quick are you with, or if you know these people already. Tell me who's on the extreme
Rockefeller,
left of the screen.
Rockefeller, Bidane.
So I cannot see the comments. Can anybody just play a part of? Can you let me know if somebody is letting in the
Benjamin,
comments? Yes, who's this
Group, what do you
person on
think?
the
Warren
first?
Buffett, Warren Buffett, and Benjamin Graham, the author of Intelligent Investor, right?
Right.
And third one is I don't know.
Okay. So the
Fantastic.
first.
And the prize goes to Shivjit Katre.
Thank you.
Okay, so can you just confirm on the first one, everyone first? Let's talk about him. Who's this person in black and white on the first, on the left hand side?
Benjamin Graham.
Benjamin,
Graham, sorry.
So what do we know about him? Like he's the father of, who's the father of value investing amongst these? Anyone?
he is the guy, Benjamin. I'm pronouncing wrong, but
Are you sure he's
uh,
called the father of
yes,
value
yes.
investing? Okay,
Because
fine.
yeah, yes. इंटेलिजेंट इन्वेस्टर इन्होंने लिखा था
Right,
एंड
right.
इसको बाइबल बोला जाता है इनकी किताब को एंड वॉरेन
Absolutely.
बफेट इनको आइडल मानते हैं. Yes.
Absolutely. So now you've also mentioned the name of
और
the person in the middle.
शिवजीत जी को मिलता है एक गिफ्ट हैम्पर.
Yeah, so it's Warren Buffett on the middle. Anything you know about him, the name of his company, he's the chairperson of which company? Anyone?
Hathaway.
Berkshire Hathaway. Absolutely.
This one.
He's an
Berkshire
American
Hathaway.
investor and a professor and also, an educator and an economist. Anyone, any idea on the third person here?
The legendary JP Morgan.
Wow, who said it? Can I know the name?
Legendary Mohit Verma.
Okay, that's wonderful. And I hope there was nothing like a Google Lens that you used and you actually knew it. So yeah, he's Mr. John Pierpont Morgan, and we should. So the reason I've put him here is because when I, time and again when I talk to a lot of you and I ask you what is your dream company, it doesn't take 10 seconds to answer. I want to get into JP Morgan. I want to get into Goldman Sachs, Barclays, etc. But who is the man behind JP Morgan? Here he is, right? So won't spend a lot of time talking about their history because that will bore you guys. You guys will drop off. Well, at this point, right, I have a couple of more questions, definitely not related to them. Meanwhile, I'll just walk you through some of my favorite quotations from these guys. So the first few that you see, the first three rather are by Mr. Warren Buffett, and the last two are by Mr. Benjamin. You can just have a look and tell me that if you agree or not. Just a yes or a no will help. And anyone out of the crowd who would like to read out these quotes out loud, I would like to ask the legendary people who just, told me the names of the famous eminent personalities to just read it out loud one by one. Anyone who wants to start with the first one, go ahead. Just read it loud.
Price is what you pay, value is what you get.
Great. Fine. So I hope we understand this, right? So it's more about the utility you arrive from a product or a service you buy. And this is a very important quotation. And the reason I've placed it at the top is because, valuation or rather finance works on this principle. So the next time somebody is asking you, why do we value a business or why would you value an asset? What is valuation? You say that valuation is about estimating the value and comparing it to the price that you pay for it in the market. So all I'm trying to just bring in here are some of the things that you should always keep in mind and talk about. Might not be a technical thing at the moment, but something that you should always abide by, right? Because these people we just talked about are the experts from their industry. They have a lot to offer, and they have been an inspiration to so many young investors out there, probably to all of us as well, because time and again we read their quotations, we try to understand what their portfolio might have been. We call Benjamin as the father of value investing, and in his book also we've seen how he's promoted the fact that you must invest in value stocks. So he's also trying to bring a perspective that what is the difference between value stocks, passive stocks, other growth stocks. So it should always give rise to a question in your mind, that why is he called as a value investor and not a passive investor? Try to find such things, right? Try to bring in this habit of reading a lot. Well, let's move on to the next one. Very quickly, anyone just read the next one.
I would like to read.
Please
The
go ahead.
most important investment you can make is in yourself. It's also
And
wallpaper of my laptop.
that's wonderful, and kudos for you for reading it out every time you switch on your screen, because this is something that I have personally believed all my life, and I think now you guys have it you have it printed in your head that you have to invest in yourself, your time, your learning. Next one, please. Anyone? Yes, who's next?
Without passion, you don't have energy.
Agreed, right? So if I'll be talking like, okay, so let's talk about this, and then you guys will not even be here, right? So your energy comes with if you're passionate about something. So guys, let's get into that habit that, if all of you are interested to make a career in finance, you are interested to make a career in any or whatsoever in any subject, be passionate about it. Know something beyond of what your peers know. So it's like I have a friend who's a consultant, and I'm from finance, he's from supply chain management, and he happens to know who the finance minister of India is, or what the RBI does, what the SEBI does. Then technically I'm not in the right place, right? Because I should have I should know a lot of facts and figures that are not known to him. And how do you know it? You know it by regularly posting it on your LinkedIn. You know it by interacting with your audience. You know it by attending such wonderful sessions. You know it by regularly reading on different companies portals and websites. Well, we will be doing that from now on, and I hope you guys will spend more time on that. Yes, anyone? Next one, very quickly, let's do it. Who's next? Where is the energy, guys? Come on, let's just read it out loud.
Without
Without
energy, you have
energy,
nothing.
you have nothing.
That's one. You are reiterating on the same fact, and I am sure we now know that energy is needed. So bring on that energy, because I will be asking a lot of questions from you guys, and very simple to the point, and questions you should definitely know. So we have to be an interactive audience, right? So, well, I'll do the needful for you, and you can save your energy to answer my questions. Well, to be an investor, you must be a believer of a better tomorrow. A famous quote by Mr. Benjamin Graham, who says that you must be an investor and not a trader, or rather you should invest in valued stocks that can give you an exponential return in the future. Successful investing professionals are consistent, right? So you have to be consistent in your efforts. Imagine you following my channel, or you following a person on YouTube, or calling someone a mentor, but they're not there for you anytime you wish to have them. Then are they consistent with what they're trying to promote? No, they are not, right? So consistency is the key, and they think a great deal about what they do and how they do it. So it's very important to talk and think about what you want to do and how you do it, right? It's the most important step. Well, another 5 minutes or 2 3 minutes I'm going to spend in asking a few questions. Anyone who can just unmute and answer first wins the round. Coming back to a question that I asked, who is the current finance minister of India? Come on, quickly.
Nirmala Sitaraman.
Nirmala Sitharaman.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, what is the full form of FICCI? FICCI. Anyone?
Federation of Commerce Chamber of Industry India, something.
क्या बात है मधुरा, क्या बात, वाह वाह वाह.
Good attempt, but try to formulate it correctly. It's FICCI, na? So think about it. Go slow, try it again. Federation of
Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry.
Absolutely, very good. What is the full form
Yeah.
of SEBI? The easiest of all.
Securities Exchange Bank of India. Board of India,
Bank?
sorry.
Who said bank?
Sorry,
No,
sorry. Board of India.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Can you name the two broad market indexes in India? Any two?
Nifty
NSE and
Sensex.
BSE.
and S&P 500.
India, I
Sensex,
said.
Nifty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nifty
Nifty and Sensex.
Okay. So Nifty is the flagship index for which stock exchange?
National Stock Exchange, NSE.
NSE.
Right. Fine. Okay. Tell me, what is the full form of ITC?
Indian Tobacco Company.
Great. Okay. Now tell me that which is the most expensive share trading in the stock market?
MRF.
Mahindra. Sorry, MRF.
Why? Yeah. Can anyone check out the latest price of MRF? What is the worth of one share of MRF?
1,07,600.
7,600.
Wow. Fine. Great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short session of interaction. We'll be coming back on the same in a few minutes. So be prepared. And yeah, okay. So I think the step one for me is always self-analysis. I won't be spending much time here. I've already talked about the importance of self-analysis, knowing what your exact skill sets are, what drives you. Understand your working style, understand whether you're ready for the corporate world, or you still want to pursue your passions, you want to be an entrepreneur, etc. Because it doesn't matter, where the funds flow in from. What matters is that every day you should get up in the morning, feel the need to contribute positively to your work environment. It could come from home, it could come from you visiting your offices, etc. So if at this moment while I talk, if you feel that I'm not in the right place, or I'm not in the right space of mind, I feel very confused, I don't feel like getting up in the morning and going to work, you should try reconsidering your decision. Do not just be in a job just because it's a job. So a job is not a part of, it's just a part of your life, it's not your life, right? So you cannot hamper your mental health for something. Definitely it gives you your bread and butter, but if you're really passionate about doing something else as well, that'll give you the same amount of satisfaction. So the first step is to identify how willing are you to bring a change. If I am a finance professional, how willing am I to help people manage their wealth? How good am I in understanding the various financial assets? So let's just quickly, since I talked about financial assets, can any one of you let me know the risky less asset? Anyone tell me that which asset has the least amount of risk according to you?
Bonds.
Index funds.
Okay. Bonds,
Fixed
fine.
deposits.
Fixed deposits,
Index
bank
funds.
instruments. Right.
Bond.
Okay. Bonds, fixed income securities. Okay. Fine. So we already named a few financial assets. Can you name other categories or classification of assets according to you? Just quickly name whatever comes to your mind. I'll give you a hint. Let me start with the
Equity.
equity.
Gold.
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 Okay. Fine. Commodities. Let's categorize them as
Real
commodities.
estate.
Real estate. Right. What else? Think. There are 8 to 9 categories. So equity, we are done. Fixed income securities, bank deposits.
Treasury bills.
So treasury bills comes under what? Government securities, right? So think of the broad
Yeah.
category सोचो, आपने real estate बोला, ठीक है?
We have
Insurance,
alternative investments like private equity and else.
absolutely. Alternative investments. What else? Can you think of something which has more risk? Something that is traded on the stock market apart from equity?
Derivatives.
Mutual
Absolutely.
funds.
Mutual funds, derivatives. Okay. So we are on the right path. So we know a bit of, what the financial assets are, and we are ready and prepare, and we are ready to kind of, kickstart a journey where we'll be a part of either one asset, or we can work with any financial services company such as Motilal, IIFL, Sher Khan, where we can be a financial analyst dealing with a lot of other kind of equities. So for example, if I come from an experience of valuation, I do a lot of equity valuation. You can also be a part of debt valuation. You could be a part of debt syndication. But assuming that all of your freshers, I will not bring in a lot of alternative investments, put call options, derivative, risk management into the perspective at this moment. I will not do that. So I am considering that at this stage, we all are ready. We got our answers on what exact skills we want to acquire, what we have done in the past, where we are headed, where we want to go, and we are ready to kickstart on the corporate experience, right? Now that we are ready, do a lot of research. Why do I say research is important? Because you need to know what your core subjects are. So initially I was asked what my favorite subjects have been. So I have had a keen interest in mathematics. I have loved doing economics. I'm sure at least one or two of you have a good interest in economics, right? So economics as a subject used to feel very practical to me. I used to relate it to what is happening in the stock market, the demand and supply factors, the aggregate demand, how the demand or the prices impact the demand, how the prices impact the supply, how the interest rates moving up and down will impact the monetary policy, how will it impact the banking system. So generally India is a bank led economy, right? We say that India is led by its bank. So we should be in a good position to understand what the union budget is, what the monetary fiscal policies are, what is the taxation system in India. Somebody asked about the jobs in taxation. So taxation, that you could either work for a taxation system in India, or you could be a part of USI taxation. But primarily talking about India, let me ask, are you well enough, are you well equipped with the taxation system of India at the moment? Are you aware of what the direct taxes are, indirect taxes are? Do you know the in and out of GST? Do you know what is US GAAP, IFRS? Do you know the Indian accounting standards? Do you know what IAS 36 stands for, etc.? So the research is all about understanding, what the subjects that I am aligned with are, what those topics are, what problem do I wish to solve. Is the problem that I'm willing to solve related to the books that a person or a company will maintain, or is related to the fact that once the books of accounts are prepared, I want to be an analyst, who wants to analyze those books of accounts, who wants to analyze the financial statements. So this kind of a question cannot be ready made put into your mind. This is something that comes from within you. You are someone who has to figure out that, do I like doing a lot of Excel? Do I like to do a lot of PowerPoint presentation where, I am putting across the company profiling, I am putting a lot of industry analysis information, pestle analysis, SWOT analysis. So what is SWOT, guys? Anyone? What is SWOT? Any idea? SWOT. Can
Strengths,
Strengths,
weakness,
weakness,
opportunities,
opportunities, and
threats.
threats.
Great. So two of these are internal to a business. What are these two that are internal to any business?
Its strengths and
Strengths
weaknesses.
and weaknesses.
So strengths and weaknesses are internal, opportunities and threats are external, right? One talks of a positive connotation, one talks of a negative connotation. And hence, the starting point is always to understand the wider industry that you want to be a part of, right? So I hope you guys are well ready to, start on your research. You're ready to read about the existing jobs, the websites that intrigue you. I talked about JP Morgan, the investment banks. Personal suggestion is, do not try to just hop onto the websites of the investment banks directly. Try and understand what the boutique firms are doing, what the tier 2 companies are doing, what the big fours have to offer. Probably the big tens and not big fours. I will never restrict you to big four experiences, right? Now that you've done your research, right, the next step, one second, yeah, so the next step is to understand what all career options or what all career choices do I have. As a graduate, as a postgraduate, depending on the situation, you could always get a start under research. So you could be a equity research analyst. you could be a fundamental research analyst, you could be a credit analyst. So when I say equity research, fundamental analysis, credit analyst, what I mean to say is you could be catering to different aspects of, you know, the financial assets. So when I say equity research, I am saying equity, which means I'm trying to estimate the common stock. I'm trying to estimate the intrinsic value of a stock. Anyone in the audience, can you tell me or have heard of the word intrinsic value? In one line, can you tell me what is intrinsic value?
The real or fair
बात
value.
है.
Okay, more answers. Try to refine it more. What is intrinsic value, or what is, let's say, what is you know, the true value of the business? So intrinsic value is nothing but the true and the fair view from an investor's point of view of how much value do they associate with that one share price, one stock that they would buy in the market. So let's say the market price of Reliance is close to 2300 and the intrinsic value is 2500. Tell me from your logic, don't think of finance, just think of something is trading at 2300 in the market while the intrinsic value or the fair value is 2500. Will you buy that stock, hold that stock, or sell that stock? Tell me
Buy that stock
why.
because the intrinsic value is more. So I expect the price of the stock to go up in the near future or in the coming future.
Right, and what factors do you think will estimate that 2500? Any idea?
Some valuation, obviously you would have prepared some models, or you would have done some analysis of opportunities that Reliance is tapping into. And there are a lot of things when you think of a stock. You just don't think about the company, you think about around the company, around the business, around the economy, around the global opportunities. It's a big picture to be seen, but step by step, GEIC, what we call, we do it. And
Great,
that's
good
where
answer.
we get the
Even
Yeah, go on.
con calls and management discussion, annual reports, all this stuff on the financial statements to help.
Absolutely. So I just, you know, list down what two of you very correctly mentioned. So let me rather ask you that will you categorize whatever you both said under an income approach or a market approach? What kind of an approach is this? Is it based on your income or is it based on the market?
market approach.
Are you sure?
Both,
Because you're looking at the
like
internal working of the business. You're
financial
looking.
statements are income approach, and the other external factors are market approach.
Right. So I just want to, you know, create a mind map in your mind that the two of you answered more from a perspective assuming that the company is a public company and, you know, it has the annual reports available, right? Can I get a heads up from both of you? Is that what you were thinking? That it's a public company, jiske financials available hai, jiske annual reports available hai, it's a listed company. Can I say you were assuming that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. But what if it's a private company? Have you ever thought about it? Let me just give you a case study. Okay. You have a private, so there's a public peer. Let's say in an entertainment and media industry. Can you name any player in the media industry? Anyone you've heard of from the media and entertainment industry, or rather any industry? Take an
GTV,
automobile.
Saregama,
T Series, Viacom, Network 18.
Yeah, Network
Sony
18.
TV.
Right. ठीक है, let's take anyone, let's take Network 18, ठीक है, or let's take Red FM. Now tell me, if they want to acquire a private player, what all in your opinion should they consider to value a private company, and what is the limitation? So tell me, what is the limitation of a private company? Anyone?
It is not
That their
public.
financials are not disclosed.
Okay, first point. Anything else?
Mm, they cannot open IPO. They cannot go for IPO.
At the moment they can't, but if they decide to go for an IPO, then IPO is all about a public private company being listed in the market, right? So good attempt. Now think, okay, so it's clear they do not have the financials available. Now tell me, how will you try to estimate what should the, you know, public peer in the media industry should pay for their private company? क्या सोचोगे आप? उनके financials तो है ही नहीं. That means आप income तो देख नहीं सकते. You cannot see the net revenue. You cannot see the cash flows. तो आप intrinsic value कैसे
Their
निकालोगे? true
we
value
have to
कैसे
do
निकालूं?
more of
Their
something
reputation
called
in the
bullet
market.
evaluation. I think
One by
Madhura,
one. Huh,
Madhura
one,
knows.
reputation in the market. What else?
Maybe market, maybe their sales, like how they're
Say
performing.
sales तो available ही नहीं है ना, क्योंकि private company है, उन्होंने disclose नहीं किया. What will you
Okay.
do?
Clients
Clients कैसे पता चलेंगे आपको?
on their website, through their
Okay,
website.
good. ठीक है. I want more voices. Come on. And अगर किसी ने chat box में कुछ लिखा है, guys, please, be a
Kavya,
community. Yeah.
I would look at did they raise fundings, series fundings, if they are in the startup phase. I would look at, do they
Good.
have patents? Have
Very
they
good.
filed for patents? Are
Right.
they working on innovative technologies? Maybe some unique R&D. So that is what gives the potential of their sizable market.
Absolutely. That's perfect. Yeah, that's one of the major factors you'll see if there's a bridge round that happened, if they've recently taken any, funding on a pre-deal or a post-deal valuation basis. Absolutely. So guys, why am I bringing these things into the picture? It's not relevant to my topic. It's a very technical thing. The reason I'm saying this is because these kind of things intrigue you, right? Then you fall in the first three categories of this presentation. So if you like answering questions like what the company is doing internally, then it's the first three. You are making an equity research report, you're trying to estimate the business of the target or the public company. It's not important that you will be preparing a report for a public company, right? You might be expected to make a report for a private company. So how would you estimate the private company's value? So I'm sure that whatever factors you mentioned will help you decide what to pay for the private company. But so somebody, one of you just 2 minutes back answered that, the bridge rounds, the recent fundings. What if there were no fundings? It's not a startup company, it's a well established private company. What will you do then? Think. It's a very simple answer, and I've also given you a hint by asking what the public company is. Think. I will not answer. I know the answer. I want you guys to crack your brains a bit. Tell me.
So peer-to-peer valuation, something kind of
Absolutely. Now you're talking on point, right? So
like
जो
relative
limitation.
valuation or kind of
Absolutely. Yes. So private company की जो limitation है, we can turn that limitation into a strength by comparing it to the public peers in the same industry, right? So that means a good understanding of dash is required, then dash is required, then dash is required. Has anyone heard of the EIC approach or the top down approach? Anyone? Any idea?
Yes.
Tell me, what is it?
Economic, industry, and company. Like first we have to check the economical situation of that company, then industrial, then company level.
Right. So tell me now, if you like doing a top down approach, or if you like following a top down approach to analyze anything, what kind of roles can you get into? You guys only tell me. You are the recruiters, you are the ones hiring me, let's say. Okay? I am confused and I come to you and I say that, sir, ma'am, I am actually interested, in reading through the financials. I like reading the annual reports. I like playing with numbers. Which category of these career choices will you put me under? Immediately, tell me. What is the first offering you'll make? What will you say? Where can I fit in?
Research analyst.
Correct. Absolutely. So equity research well works for me in an area where, I am giving a stock recommendation to the clients. I'm talking about the public companies that are listed. I'm putting across a research on that. If I'm talking about valuing a private company, then I can also work in the valuation department where I'm trying to use relative valuation, precedent company transactions, precedent, company comparables. So relative valuation can further be whether it is related to the peer set being compared, or it is related to the immediate transactions that might have happened in that industry, which I think one of you very correctly pointed out, that we look at the recent acquisitions, recent amalgamations, recent mergers, etc. Okay, so M&A and equity research goes hand in hand. I hope I'm making sense. You always start with equity research. You start with, the top-down approach. You start with understanding the financial statement analysis. You draw conclusions from the financials. And the next step is to project or forecast those financials to arrive at a valuation metric. right? And that is when your understanding of the valuation world is more important. But as a fresher, you are expected to know these concepts like top down approach, SWOT analysis, pestle. You should know how do you, or what parameters will you consider to evaluate an industry, to evaluate a company, and to evaluate an economy in general. So just spending 2 more minutes, guys, I hope you know that, at every level. So tell me that, okay, now tell me what all parameters will you take to analyze an industry? Another 2 minutes. एक इंडस्ट्री को एनालाइज करने के लिए, एक इंडस्ट्री को स्टडी करने के लिए आप क्या क्या देखोगे? दैट इज व्हाट आई एम आस्किंग. पहला मैंने आपको बता दिया, आप पेस्टल देखोगे, उस इंडस्ट्री के पॉलिटिकल फैक्टर्स, इकोनॉमिक, सोशल, जियोपॉलिटिकल, लीगल, फाइनेंशियल फैक्टर्स. व्हाट एल्स इन द इंडस्ट्री डू यू वांट? किस पे रिसर्च करोगे आप?
The moat of that industry.
राइट, मोएट. ओके, व्हाट एल्स? कंपेरेटिव एडवांटेज है या नहीं उस कंपनी के पास, उस इंडस्ट्री के पास एज कंपेयर टू अदर्स. सो टेल मी, अगर आज मैं इंटरेस्ट रेट्स इंक्रीज कर दूं as a bank, as RBI, if I increase and decrease the interest rates in the economy, which industry will be impacted the most?
Banking.
The banking sector, the credit expansion, the credit or the MSME sector will be impacted the most, right? The ones who rely on a lot of credit loans from these government institutions. Tell me what all industries were impacted during a pandemic like the COVID-19. What industries were? Healthcare. What else?
Construction, infrastructure, basically.
Infrastructure. Okay. What else?
Automobiles.
Yeah.
Basically, most of them which were
Food
into
and
the
beverages as well,
manufacturing.
because no one was going out for food.
Hospitality, like theaters and malls. So hospitality.
Yeah.
Right. Tourism sector, right? Travel and tourism
Pharma.
dropped significantly, right? So see, guys, I know you guys know everything, ठीक है? But the objective is कि आपको पता होना चाहिए कि what is the starting point. So अगर मैं आपसे कहूँ, okay, are you good with equity research? And you tell me that I know how to analyze a company. That is not the answer I'm looking for as a recruiter. As a recruiter, I want you to mention about your understanding of the top-down approach and the bottoms-up approach. Which I mean, आपको exactly in your head, you should have a clarity what factors are important for an industry level, economy level, and a company level. So industry mein you will always focus on the macroeconomic factors, right? You will see the licensing system of that industry, of that economy, how supportive is the government, what are the policies that the government makes, and how those policies that come in impact a particular industry. So let's say there has been a change in the income tax slab rates. Will that income tax slab rate change, or the corporate tax changing, impact every industry that is operating in our economy or not? So your understanding of what and the codependence of these industries. Tell me or think of any two industries that are codependent on each other. Think about it. So let's say one industry is providing a raw material to a bigger industry. Can you think of anything like that, a codependence?
Absolutely. So
The
the
metal and
airline industry.
transportation.
Sorry.
One by one. I'm sorry, I can't see the chat box, but any one of you can unmute and speak first. Yeah.
Yeah, the transportation industry is directly related to the energy industry because they all use diesel, gas in some way. So any
Right.
change in the oil prices that affects the energy industry will directly affect the transportation industry.
Good. Very, very true. Yeah. What else? Think. What about the gold market and the stock market? Anyone? What is the correlation?
It's like negative, because if gold goes up, markets are going down. If markets are going up, gold is going down.
Right. So how do I compare this? Any statistical measure to compare how much is this transition happening? Like, so the dependency, is there a metric in finance or maths or stats that can measure this?
Correlation coefficient.
The reason I'm bringing these things is because they play a very important role in finance as well. So correlation and covariance plays a very important role to estimate one very important metric in valuation primarily, but also in equity research, because that metric is a measure of systematic risk. Can you guys guess what I'm talking about?
Alpha.
Okay, alpha. And how do you
Beta.
measure risk in
Beta.
beta? Absolutely. So how do you measure risk in finance? What statistical measure do you use? रिस्क कैसे मेजर करोगे आप किसी भी स्टॉक का?
Well, it's in the formula of beta, it's covariance between the security and market divided by the variance of the market.
Correct. So the variance and the standard deviation, right? That measures risk. So total risk in finance is simply the standard deviation. The total risk can further be categorized into systematic risk or unsystematic risk, right? And beta क्या measure करता है? Beta सिर्फ market risk को measure करता है. Beta company के internal risk को measure नहीं करता, right? Because why? Beta talks about the volatility in the market. Am I right?
Yes.
So it talks about the volatility in the stock prices. It doesn't talk about the volatility in the cash flows or the internal working of the business. And hence, beta is an external factor. It's not internal to a business. It's an external risk. So कुछ तो होगा ना जो internal risk भी है. So beta cannot be considered as a total risk of a business. If you understand these things, right? I'm not taking a technical session here, guys. Let me know if you guys want me to just hop on to the skill sets, or are you enjoying this kind of an interaction? Let me know, because I like to go a more deeper, I follow a more deeper approach where I bring in the topics that are important. So I genuinely want to know if others are not feeling bored of it. Tell me if I can continue asking questions like this, or should I not at the moment? Tell me very bluntly.
Yeah, you
This
can
is
continue.
enjoying. We can like answer,
There's
in-
so many flowers.
introspect
My
ourselves.
love, my thumbs up, my applauses, my haha hee hee signs, and the same signs from everybody else. You should know that we are absolutely enjoying this session. I promise you, although it's like 1:30 a.m. in the US, I am not asleep. I'm enjoying this.
Great, wonderful. Okay, but again, I'll also respect the time and keep it a little short, right? Because again, we have to meet again. Okay, so I think I made sense absolutely on the part of equity research as a career choice. Equity research is followed by a career in M&A or valuation. Valuation, entering into a financial modeling role or a valuation. The starting point is financial statements. The second point is equity research, and the third is valuation. Some of us might be lucky to get through valuation directly, but then we all struggle a bit too, because our concepts on equity research, or a lot of what goes behind preparing the annual reports, what the fundamentals or the formats of these financial statements are not clear to us. Also, I've seen a trend where a lot of you are interested in making a career in investment bankings directly. That's not a recommendation from my end, especially. Let's say you are a CFA charter holder, you are a ACCA, you are a CA. See, unfortunately or fortunately, in India, we have some criterias we have to respect, some eligibilities that we must take care of, right? So if I tell you that BCom, being a graduate, you cannot enter into investment banking, you have to respect that. Because if these investment banks allow you to enter these companies, right, they know you'll only not be able to survive. They will not have a problem, because anyway they can pay you a 5 or 6 lakh LPA, right? And they can have fun, because for them it's nothing. The starting they pay is, let's say, close to 15 or 20 LPA. And you can expect a similar pay in valuation, equity research related profiles, considering your experience and your knowledge of various industries, right? So if I'm a valuation expert, I will be always focusing on trying to get a knowledge of different industries, the TMT sector, the financial services sector, so many sectors. I'll also guide you guys on, how do you start understanding these industries. So, any idea, on how many sectoral indices are there? Can any one of you name a few sectoral indexes in India under Nifty index? Just the broad categories that you have heard of.
It's Nifty IT, Nifty
Yeah.
Auto, chemicals. There's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah, more than 13 to 16 sectoral indices are there. We can go to the website and check. I have also prepared a list of a few interview questions. I have prepared a list of some external links that you can follow through to navigate to these websites. So I'll walk you through that if time permits. Moving ahead, you can make a career in private equity. Private equity again will call for a predetermined knowledge of valuation. So I have happened to work recently on a few PE private equity investment valuations. That again requires a lot of industry research first. Second, it requires you to analyze all the individual stocks in the portfolio of these companies, right? So if let's say there is a fund, that fund must be having a lot of diversification. So diversification means you are not putting one egg in all you are not putting all the eggs in one basket, you're rather putting all those different eggs in different baskets, right? Not just in terms of different asset classes, but within the same asset class, different industries. So you'll always find people talking about value investing, and then they will talk about ki you don't always put all your money in IT stocks. Put your money in EV, put your money across large, medium, and small cap companies. Why do they say this? Because if one does not have a positive correlation with the market going up and down, the other can manage, right? So that the returns are normalized. So diversification is very important. So private equity is something that is again a very niche area in finance, but it calls for a lot of predetermined knowledge of valuation, of equity research, of credit research. When you enter private equity, you cannot stay restricted just to equity. You have to also know the debt side of it, how the securitization process happens, the loan debt syndication process, the credit, how the credit ratings are provided to these bonds, etc. So somebody talked about S&P, there is Moody's, there is CRISIL, there is CARE, so many credit ratings, that provide a credit rating to the different securities of a company. So you should try and see what these categories show, whether a triple A rated bond is better than a double A plus or a single A plus rated bond. This is something I leave it to you guys to find out, right? Not a scope of this session again. You can also be a consultant. So this is a confusion I see going ahead with a lot of people, that they feel that I want to be a consultant and I want to be a financial analyst. Let me break it down for you. So particularly when you work in big fours, right, with companies like EY, Deloitte, KPMG, they have a clear set of hierarchy. But so they have a hierarchy wherein you start as an analyst, you move to a associate or a senior associate, you can then move to an assistant manager, but nowhere is there a world called consultant there. Why? I mean, this is not the same for all, but being a consultant, you could be a part of a completely different service line and primarily not under finance. So let me talk about what we used to have at EY here, right? So under EY, we used to have a major umbrella of SAT, right? SAT was further divided into this corporate finance, which is transaction and corporate finance, and EY Parthenon. Anyone who's heard of EY Parthenon? Anyone? Just a yes or a no. I'm just getting an idea if you guys have heard of it. EYP का नाम सुना है किसी ने?
No.
Okay, fine. So EY Parthenon is like an extended vertical again of EY. It all comes under their global delivery services, right? So why am I telling you this? Because see, आप मुझसे पूछते हो, बहुत लोग मेरे को बोलते हैं, I want to make a career in finance. Can I do it? Yes, you can do it. But if I have to refer you, or if anyone in the company has to refer you, where will they refer you? Now understand. Under SAT, you have transaction and corporate finance, you have EY Parthenon, right? This I'm only talking about one competency, that is the major categories, strategy and transaction. Now under that you have VME, valuation, modeling economics. You also have lead advisory. You also have due diligence. Under VME, you also might have intangible valuation, tangible valuation, real estate valuation, complex security valuation. You have ESOP valuation. So ESOP, I think some of you might have heard of. So that is also gaining a lot of momentum in the market. कभी आपने देखा होगा कि Deloitte की vacancy आती है 409A valuation. What is 409A? That is a complex securities valuation, right? Estimating the common stock valuation. Then there are so many other categories within valuation. So थोड़ा सा आपको research करना पड़ेगा. You have to talk to the people working there to understand where do you really fit in, right? And then apart from this, you have a completely different set of service line, which is called consulting. So if I am a part of SAT, my friend is a part of consulting, then I am a complete, it's not important that, as a part of SAT, I am restricted only to finance. I can also be a part of EY Parthenon, because these guys take care of the strategy part. So if you are someone, who's interested in corporate strategy, you're interested in strategy and transaction, you're interested in restructuring services, working capital management, value addition, standalone costing, cost models, that is the area for you. However, if you're interested in a little bit of finance, but a little bit of technology as well. You're good with Power BI, you're good with Tableau, you're good with SQL, you are good with Alteryx. Alteryx is a one key area which you all must, I would say, start learning. Don't get into the details of it, but Alteryx is a lot required in industry, and especially in the consulting domain, right? So you can get a lot into that. So if you're someone who's not a core finance person, not entirely technical, a little bit of functional as well, then consulting is a completely different set of role, right? Under consulting, I might have business consulting, I might have technology consulting. Under business consulting, I might have supply chain planning, logistics, I might have FP&A, which is financial planning and analysis. So it might sound that the system is so complex, but no, it's not. It all boils down to your core interest. Whether you are someone who likes to bring in technology with your experience, try consulting as a service line. If you're someone who is very good with the theory concepts and want to work a lot with Excel and not with other softwares, then enter into core technical corporate finance related roles and not into consulting. So I'll help you guys individually answer through your questions later, but I hope you guys got a glimpse of the different career choices you have. You can also be a part of the derivatives. If you like doing put and call, if you invest in the market, if you're a trader, be an independent trader. At the same time, work in partnership with Motilal Oswal. You can get into partnerships with these financial services companies as well, right? I'll be talking about that in detail. Just quickly walking you through. So some of the financial service sector providers are majorly the banks, the financial companies, the real estate companies, insurance companies, the lenders, and the investment houses. Very self-explanatory slide, right? You can make a career in the BFSI sector. You can be a part of the mid-sized organizations. You can be a part of boutique firms, which I will be talking about in the next 2 minutes. Now that you have done the research, you are clear headed, you've identified the industry you want to enter into, you are clear that okay, I want to make a career in the BFSI sector, I want to be a part of the audit firm, I want to be a part of an FMCG under which I want to work as a product manager, or maybe I want to work with an IT firm under a particular head. Let's say I want to be a data analyst, and being a data analyst, I have done a lot of courses from Great Learning, which I will obviously recommend you guys to do it from there. And then I want to make a career in IT firms. Makes sense. So you identify your industry, think about whether you're interested in accounting or finance, which area in finance, like I just spoke about, the roles and responsibilities that you wish to do as a part of that job. How do you identify the roles and responsibilities? You identify it by reading through the job description of similarly posted job descriptions on that website. Taking my example, let's say I made up my mind, I like making financial models, I want to hop into valuations. Identify the top 10 companies in India that offer valuation services, right? Let's say Big Fours being 4 of them. Now go to these websites, do a lot of research, see what they have previously offered in their job descriptions, see if you can add some courses, some skills from the job descriptions to your resume, and then you go ahead, right? So the first point is always to acquire those skills, but to acquire those skills, the prerequisite is to understand whether they will help you fetch a job in valuation. So as far as my experience in the last 2 3 years is concerned, I have an understanding of Power BI, Tableau, and etc., but I have not used the same in the industry. Doesn't mean it's not used in the valuation industry, but it's not used to a larger extent. Okay, we don't use Power BI. We use Excel only to visualize our charts. We use Excel to do a plausibility check of the business plan. We do an analyst estimate, but everything is well structured in Excel. That is how even the clients want it. That is how even we suggest that we put everything across in Excel, because the model is in Excel. So we don't suggest having a data visualization software like Tableau. That is the general practice I have seen. However, if any one of you has a different opinion, I will like to know the same. Okay. Research well on the company profile you want to see. Also, I know that as freshers, you guys are concerned that I want to get at least a decent pay range. Do a lot of market research. I think the other day, I think just a few moments back, I saw in the group there was a video on how do you negotiate your salary. So never settle for less, but at the same time understand that the company is hiring you considering that they have to invest a lot in you as a fresher. So if they are the ones investing on you, you cannot be asking for a 10 15 LPA straight away. You have to understand what the market has to offer. That is one very important element of finding a job, according to me. Read a lot of reviews of these companies on Glassdoor, Ambition Box. So many things are there out in Google if you do a good research, right? So again, some of the key players in the market, needless to say, there are management consulting companies like McKinsey, Bain, BCG. The short is MBB, McKinsey, BCG, Bain. There is Expedia, a lot of other companies that are now gaining a lot of momentum. There is, then there are tier two companies, maybe from the IT sector, which are operating globally, providing their services to the bigger clients. So the advantage of always starting your career working with big companies like all these you see on the screen is that you get good client exposure, you get good growth opportunities. But personally suggesting to you guys, coming from a big four experience, that never stay restricted to a brand. Always stay consistent with learning. Do not just rely on a brand just because you're getting a good kickstart. I know that it will help you get a better package in the future, it will help you land a better job, but my suggestion is not that if you do not get into a big four, you opt for it, you just sit idle and not do anything and wait for a big four to convert you. That should not be the right approach. However, try your ultimate best to be a right fit for these companies, because they are nothing but looking for a candidate who is extremely confident, communicates well, and is curious to learn even more. But learning doesn't happen by spoon feeding. Learning happens when you take that edge, you take that lead, that I know I've got the resources being a part of such a big company. I've got an access to Udemy. I've got an access to, some great people from the industry. I have to make that conscious effort of going to them, planning a session or a meeting with them, talking to them. They will never come to you and tell you that, okay, let's learn. No, do not take the trainings very casually. This is just a couple of suggestions I have for all of you. Rest, get started. That's the most important step. Do not wait for the right opportunity. Make the opportunity right and just go for it, right? Again, so I will stick to more accounting and finance related firms in India. Big fours again top the list, but again not restricted to these. BDO, RSM, GT are considered as the fifth, sixth, and the seventh largest amongst the world, and also in India. Anyone who knows what is the full form of PwC?
Price water.
PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Right. What is KGS, guys? You can see on the fourth point, I've mentioned KPMG/KGS. What is KGS? Any idea?
KPMG Global. Something.
KPMG Global Services, right? So
Services.
not to demean any one of you, right? But had you been on the career portal or had you been on the company's website, this is the first thing you see, right? Whether you want to search for a career in India or in the global services. And I was immediately expecting a response, because this is something all of you should know, despite the fact where do you want to get into. So it's also very important to understand what these companies have to offer at all, and then understand if I am well placed. So if I say, okay, do you want to enter Deloitte, you will say yes. Now the second question is, where in Deloitte? Do you know whether you want to be a part of Deloitte India, which caters to the Indian practice of audit and other financial services, or do you want to enter into the USI under taxation and other things? So the working style changes, the concepts remain the same, but a lot of things vary. So again, as I talked about my experience with EY, there is EY India, there is EY GDS, right? So where do you wish to go depends a lot on your research. That is something very fundamental and important. I'm still telling you, although these companies offer you good client exposure, work environment, personal development, future career growth, but you have to make yourself well adjusted to these. Okay, now what is BDO, RSM, GT? Anyone who knows any full form amongst these three? What is the full form of GT?
Grant Thornton.
Right, Grant Thornton. So you might have seen a lot of vacancies being posted of these companies as well. although the job market in India is a little stagnant at the moment, and I don't want you all to just rush onto something. Just have patience, develop on your skills, but it's not like there are no jobs at all, right? I recently switched my profile, and trust me, I've got into a good firm, one of these mentioned here. So if I can do it, trust me, all it takes is the right preparation. All it takes is the confidence to be able to say that, if you have four people in the lot, I might not be better than them, or I might not be even less than them, but no comparison. I am me, and I know what I have to offer to the firm. If you have this attitude, trust me, sooner or later you will land up somewhere great. But I also want to talk about other firms apart from these mentioned here. But before I do, you guys tell me if you have come across or you have any company in mind for a role in finance. Tell me. Any company apart from these mentioned here?
Deloitte.
Deloitte is mentioned here.
McKinsey.
Oh,
Rating companies like Crisil,
Yeah.
Equity Research.
Credit rating companies. I think I already talked about it in the previous slide. So let's talk about companies that we've not brought into the perspective. Okay, we talked about the MBB players. We talked about Accenture, some IT companies. So tell me some few players in your mind that offer a role in financial advisory, valuation, modeling, etc., but are not listed here, or I have not spoken about it yet. Have you come across any profile or company like that?
AKR. Okay.
Okay. Others? Anything else?
FIS Global.
Right?
BlackRock.
BlackRock, yeah. What else? Come on guys, ये तो आप रेगुलर देखो, आप रेगुलरली जॉब्स देखते हो, राइट? यू आर द वंस हु आर जॉब सीकर्स एट द मोमेंट. तो आई एम श्योर आपने इसके अलावा बहुत कंपनीज देखी होंगी व्हाइल यू आर सर्चिंग ऑन इंडीड, नौकरी और ऑन
नहीं नहीं
लिंक्डइन. कम
काव्या,
ऑन.
नहीं नहीं काव्या जी, ऐसा हो गया है कि इन लोगों ने, अधिकतर लोगों ने, नॉट जस्ट दीज पीपल हु आर अटेंडिंग, बट आई कैन बी फ्रैंक, 90% of the audience across majority of the groups, not just our groups, but across the board, either somebody has not read something, or they do not have right mentors to talk to, or they've prepared a cut paste template resume from one of the any XYZ site, or they don't have I mean, it's basically enough knowledge. Or right now, if you can see, we have 30,000 plus people, and half of them, as you rightly pointed out, Kavya, someday some of them are sleeping, some of them are, oh, let me watch this latest OTT platform. And I'm very happy to say, Kavya, I might sound very old and boring, but I love the days when we did not have any OTT platform. We did not have, so social media has been a blessing as well as a curse. But I'm really glad that you're here with us, Kavya, today, because you are bringing out some very good insights and some really uh, concrete suggestions for people to learn from. So that's why I'm very happily watching this.
I'm really happy to know, Arun. And despite the fact it's late night there, you're still there. I hope others are equally as excited and learning something out of this, because I am technically here out of my passion, but there's nothing personal that I gain out of these sessions, right? It's everything is all about imparting that out for the world. And if you guys don't pick up the right things from this session, I doubt that if it'll happen in the future. So guys, please be conscious here, please be attentive. I want an interactive audience, otherwise even we feel discouraged of the fact that you guys are not serious about it. So I want that interaction to happen. So let's say somebody is asking you a question, I asked you a question, and you've not done your research. Just respecting the mentor or the person who's asking a question, you immediately find it out on Google. No, try to find those companies. The objective is to interact here. It's not to test your knowledge, or it's not to kind of comment, okay, A is better than B, okay, B knows better than C. No, it's just to let each other know what we know, right? So now tell me quickly, find out, Google, ask your friends, do whatever you want, check out somebody's LinkedIn profile, do whatever you can. In the next 1 minute, I want to know from you. I'm not gonna say it. Tell me a few more companies that are hiring in finance roles.
So Kavya, I see a lot of companies hiring in the
JP
finance.
Morgan, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs,
Okay.
Wells Fargo, Deutsche Bank of America, HSBC, American Express, Berkshire Hathaway,
Can
BlackRock.
you get hired to Berkshire Hathaway right away?
No,
So
I
again,
was just reading the list from Google.
no, see,
Yeah,
I understand,
you,
but
she basically has a list of top finance companies, and that's so Madhura, listen to Kavya's approach, because that'd be more down to earth, like down to what you can really do versus like just getting a broad list from Google.
So Kavya, I see one field I see expanding a lot, especially in India, with people having disposable incomes or using a major portion of the disposable incomes on spending is secondary finance companies, fintech companies. So these are companies that are providing financing. I know the equivalent is picking up hot in the US market, Affirm, Klarna, PayPal. So
yeah,
similarly, I don't know in India, but I have seen their ads and they're hiring frantically, because India kind of follows the same US is with a lot of families having less disposable incomes and relying on secondary financing. These companies are hiring like crazy.
they're hiring in India as well, is it?
Yes, but I don't know the names of the companies which provide secondary financing. But I see these apps display in Cash Karo all the secondary financing companies marketing.
Great. I mean, I do appreciate your effort in, making this information available. Very nice. And I'm glad that you did that effort. But again, reiterating on the fact, because of the approach that I was following here is, I want you guys to go on Indeed immediately in your system, on your phones, check indeed.com, check Naukri, search for the, keyword as valuation, search for the keyword as finance, and give me a few names. Come on, guys. What happened? Have you heard of Moody's? Have you heard of Equity Knowledge Partners? Anyone? Anyone who heard of
Crisil.
Chris? Okay. Anyone who heard of Kroll? Can
Yes,
anyone
I've
tell me
heard
the?
the name of the companies.
Yeah. So Kroll ka pehle it was called Duff and Phelps. Duff and Phelps is literally one of the best in the industry, and now it has been rebranded to Kroll. But if we do not know this basic thing, then tell me how will anyone help? But I'm still giving you a chance, being the most humble and patient with you guys. Tell me a few more if you can find out for me. Because I know the objective is for you to know.
Acme Services,
Okay. So I know you're on the
Franklin,
page of Indeed. Indeed is where
Nothing.
it, yeah.
Franklin
Tell me some
Templeton.
well-known ones. I mean, tell me some companies that you might have heard of immediately. Like, so if you say nobody mentioned D Shaw, D Shaw and Co. Have you heard of that? डी शॉ का
Yes.
नाम सुना है किसी ने? तो क्यों नहीं
Yes.
बोला? बोलना है ना ये चीजें. और बताओ, tell me more. Where else can you get hired? Tell me. Haven't you seen any of your friends posting on LinkedIn, hey, I've started a job here? Citibank is fine. Citi also offers. Wipro, maybe there are a few finance profiles. What else?
The Indian banks,
Okay, the private banks. Or,
ICICI Financial
yeah,
Services,
okay,
HDFC
okay.
Financial Services.
Mm-hmm. There's a company called CBRE. I want you guys to research on that, right? So there is CBRE and then there is Cushman and Wakefield. Cushman and Wakefield and CBRE. CBRE is one of the leading companies in real estate valuations. Cushman and Wakefield is also offering a lot of opportunities to the freshers. But I don't see many people talked about it, or I've not heard that name much coming here. Also, S&P Global is hiring. S&P Global, you guys know? What is
Yes. Yes.
S&P Global? Is it a research firm? Is it, what is it?
It's a rating agency.
It's a rating agency. So, as a part of my everyday working, I only use CIQ and S&P Capital. So imagine I'm using a product directly by the company, right? So, and I don't know what S&P does. How bad impression would it be? Let's say it happens to come up in an interview that, okay, have you ever used CIQ? Have you heard of CIQ? Probably you guys have not. I'm not saying that you are supposed to know everything, but now I'm telling you, right? So go beyond this list. Go beyond the list you see on Google. Try to see what what the actual scenario is. And these pictures will only be clear from your LinkedIn job part. It will be clear from, you know, your Naukri and Indeed profiles. So go through them and see what they have to offer, right? Flipkart offers, Amazon offers. Nobody talked about these global MNCs. You can get a job in Reliance. I still want you to keep thinking while I speak, right? And then let me know if you could come across more companies that offer a job.
UBS,
UBS, right? Why was it not coming up
Credit,
first? Or yeah,
Credit Suisse.
Credit Suisse will not offer in India. I mean, you can expect a job there, but again, I don't want you to go to the global companies at the moment. Probably the ones which have a major presence in India. Think about them in the back end, right?
Press
These
Vista.
Press Vista is a very good firm. Can I
Bank of
one second, everyone? Can I please request you to mute yourself? Somebody has their, yeah, thank you. Okay, yes, please, guys, continue. A couple of more companies, and we'll go ahead. Anything else in the mind?
eValueSoft.
Evaluesoft,
eValueSoft.
yeah.
SG
Visible Alpha,
Analytics.
yeah. Okay. SG Analytics, okay.
NoCraft Analytics.
Absolutely. This is a company I wanted to come to. No Craft Analytics is gaining a lot of momentum, right? So I happen to have a few managers or senior managers in Big Fours that have come from No Craft. It's an excellent company to get a good learning exposure, right? They focus a lot on learning. It's an Ahmedabad, Gujarat based firm, and you can definitely check out their website if you guys are well prepared. So I can connect you to the HR if I feel, you know, you are well placed to get a job there. But they have a core valuation profile to offer, but you should be in a good position to get started, right? So we can talk more about it. But reason I'm saying is, you know, when we talk of jobs, immediately I'm like, big four mil jaye yaar mujhe. I want big fours. Tell me, how do I crack a big four? But are we even mentally prepared? Are we ready to even talk about getting into big fours? So this might sound a little offending to most of you, but trust me, our self preparation is not on point to be able to make a statement that I want to get into big four. Because big fours will definitely take you if you are an extremely confident person, and confidence comes with a lot of research, right? It comes with you knowing the industry, it comes with you knowing what the company has to offer. So even before I got interviewed at EY, 2 days prior to my joining, I wanted to know in and out about the organization, despite just knowing the, you know, the logo that they have or the slogan that they follow. I wanted to know why it started, how it started, why did it even come into existence. It was always used to be called as an audit firm. Why did it feel the need to move into advisory services? Why did this happen? Right? Some of you might also be experienced, I don't know, maybe in some other domain and not finance. But are you in and out well aware of those companies you were a part of? Probably not. And you know, recruiters tend to catch this. They tend to only test you on the basis of that if you've already spent time in an organization, how truthful, how honest were you working there? Were you able to go beyond? Were you able to go from good to exceptional, you know, to be able to learn more about the organization? LinkedIn, again, Google, so company's website, that those are the most authentic sources of information. Every big four, or rather every company we just talked about, has a optimized LinkedIn page. How often do you visit these LinkedIn pages? Tell me. I am sure most of us not, right? I don't blame you, but it's a quick reminder to start doing it. And hence, do not just be active. Search for the companies, spend some time, connect with people, and also interact with these pages. It's not just that you stick to them and, you know, just keep looking at it. No, see if they have posted the jobs on their LinkedIn pages. That's like the most authentic source. If you are not getting a response, you know, from the career portals, try to see who the hiring manager is. And if you can professionally, very humbly and very decently connect with that person, do not just send a follow request, connect, and it's done. Do not also sound cliche by sending a general message that, okay, hi, I'm looking for a job. Let's say you happen to find a job at PwC and you also know the hiring manager who's posted that job. You send a message, hello sir, I'm keenly interested in a job at PwC. You do not mention, hi, I'm looking for a job in so and so domain, I am this, I'm a fresher. No, spend some time, give a background, give a citation, citation to prove your candidature. You have to do it. and hence LinkedIn plays an extremely crucial role. You should have a professional picture at the first place. It should not be looking here and there, not hazy, nothing, very professional. Do not smile a lot in your picture, just keep it on point, right? Then connect with the people again with a similar industry, similar interest. Act professionally, the most important part. Don't get personal, don't start sharing too much information. Don't share just little information that they don't know where you come from. So it's like 75% of the recruiters will tend to go to your LinkedIn, check what you have done in your past. So it's like a blueprint or a wedding card that you have before you propose to the recruiter about a potential opening in their organization. Yeah, in a way, you are the one who proposing to them. So before you propose someone, you have to have all your stated facts, right? Because so it's like you know that she's gonna say yes or he's gonna say yes. So the
Kavya,
next step.
you got everybody's attention the moment you said propose. Now everybody's like imagining this.
But
The other,
I hope they propose things in the right manner and at the right place and not just amongst humans.
how many of these our group people from just our group. I get mails from so not only CA groups, the other people in the office environment at junior ranks. You know how they propose to me, sir. Sending you my page. Please do the needful.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. I mean, one day I'm gonna make a video out of like all these fun texts that I get in
Yeah.
the couple Sharma style, and then everybody will have a lot of fun. You can share that in your office, Kavya.
Yeah, sure. I think it's a wake up call for you guys. I think two of us have mentioned that we do receive such things. And like, let me be very honest, it's very irritating to see you guys just stopping at hello. Some of you like, hello. Go ahead, because whenever we see the message, we are okay reading those 2 3 things and not just a hello and then we'll reply hi. You just say, don't stop at hello, just say hello, hi, approached you for this, right? And don't say hello, how are you, where are you there. They will be there when they have to be there, but you have to be there to get your life sorted. So I'm sure that students are gonna do this now and they'll not send you such weird cringy messages. I urge them not to.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna send people to Roopmati as well, because Roopmati, there's another lady called Ruby. Whenever they write to me, Ram wrote to me also. I mean, I'm just naming these people just because I was very happy with the context they introduced who they were, the context they provided a context, and they asked very specific questions that. So I was very happy to respond to those kind of texts because they're very structured, and that's how I'll possibly I will cut I'll I think Kavya, one of the since you're in our groups now, you can share some examples from time to time, and obviously we'll be watching your channel as well.
Sure. I'll do that definitely. Thank you, Arun. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so how many are there? I mean, are you guys there? See, I'm totally blank. I can't see you guys. I can't see the chat box at the
We are
moment.
still here, Kavya. I know how it feels talking to blank screen. And
Yeah. So guys, please keep me motivated as well. I was equally excited to join and I want to keep that excitement going till the end of the session. It is a little extended session, I know, but I don't think I am not making sense. I think everything I said is coming directly from my experience and it should make sense to you, right? And there is no obligation on you staying back till the end. Probably if you're serious, if you feel that there's something to learn beyond this, please be here with me and be patient.
Kavya, just one question may be asked on behalf of all of the others. How do we do company research going with the target approach? So, like, what are some resources you use for company research specific to getting for interviews?
Sure. So I have a couple of slides on interview preparation. If you don't mind, can I come back on it at the later part of the session? I mean, another 5-10 slides and I'll be reaching there. So that is probably the slide where, you'll automatically get a few more answers and then we can discuss the technical aspect of it. Okay. Let me just go a little general and then I'll come back to your question. Okay.
However, whether anybody sits with you or not, I'm so happy with these slides and the presentation that you have made, especially for us today, using Canva, I believe, that I'm going to be with you for whatever time it takes. I don't care about time at all.
I do care about your time and sleeping schedule, and I'm going to keep it short. But at the same time, I won't miss the important points that I anyway
Sure.
have to mention. Right. So I'll just move ahead, everyone. Thanks for your patience. And yeah, I think won't spend a lot of time in this slide again because self-explanatory here. You have to act professional. You have to post regularly. I always give it out as an example that let's say you're a tax analyst or you want to enter into tax, and there is a union budget that has happened, and I being in valuation, not in tax, but still interested to know, what the tax rates are, what the slab rates are, or how much increase or decrease in tax happens for me. So I want you to be the first one to, immediately post the same on your LinkedIn. That is what I expect from each one of you. So I'm sure by now you might have started, having a thought in mind. Okay, she talked about company research. Sounds interesting to me. I want to explore this. I want to try my hand at it. You can definitely get in touch with me after the session because I also have a couple of sessions I take where I give a lot of assignments. I have a few assignments ready which you can start doing, and that's absolutely out of passion and for you to do it for free. Don't worry. Okay, so we'll go to those areas, but at this moment, do not make your LinkedIn look like an Instagram profile. It's a humble request, right? Because when I scroll through and I see some personal postings happening, some personal sharing of information, etc., related to, okay, I was on the hills today, I went to Himalayas, I wanted to do this. For me as a professional, I don't personally like seeing things which talks about your personal adventures, where you went, how did you go there. No, I am more interested in your professional network. So I would suggest you keep it professional. If you want to, add your LinkedIn community to a network where they can get to be a part of your personal training sessions, your gym experiences, your yoga journey, your fitness journey, take it on Instagram or some personal platform. LinkedIn should be respected in a way that, the important things or something that can help the wider audience should be posted. Definitely you can talk about how your fitness experience has moved or changed you as an individual, but it shouldn't talk about you posting about the whey protein all those things and say I consume this and that. So guys, avoid that a bit. Don't make it look like a general social media scrolling platform. Let's make sure we only get to see important information being posted there. Also, a very big recommendation, so let's say you happen to learn something under my mentorship. You've learned so much from the COE team, you have been a part of the groups. Try to get into the good books of someone in a good way and then ask for a recommendation. Because if somebody feels that you have gone beyond the edge, you have gone beyond to prove yourself, and you have taken that initiative, that curiosity, you've shown that integrity to learn, they'll be more than happy to recommend you. And it's always good to read comments on your LinkedIn profile coming from a person you reported to directly. It could be as a part of your internship, it could be a part of a group you were a part of. It's not important that somebody reported you reported to someone directly. It could be a person you worked in the same team. LinkedIn offers you each and every kind of an opportunity, to put it through there. So let's say I was in an internship, I was working from this guy who was from Coimbatore, Chennai, right? So coming from a diverse background, initially I did not understand his language, but eventually he and me started communicating in a kind of English that only both of us could understand, to a point that now he has learned a Hindi Bollywood song, and I can murmur a little Tamil song for you guys. So that's the beauty of it, right? When you work together, you create that community, you learn through things. So all I'm trying to say is get such people from diverse backgrounds, diverse communities, diverse diversities, different culture and regions of life, to be giving you recommendations and connecting with you on the LinkedIn portal, right? And the LinkedIn job portal is very important because the algorithm works in a way that, when I used to search for a role in finance and valuation, I did not used to get a lot of good options. But now that my search results help LinkedIn optimize the LinkedIn page for me, it automatically gives me the most relevant jobs as per my search criterias. Very important, right? Okay. So the step 5 again is to update your resume. You have to follow the approach that the latest qualification, the latest experience should go at the top. your keywords should be on point. It should be in sync with the role you want to enter into. I am definitely not the right person to talk in detail about it. You already have experts in this session who are helping you through it. There are so many groups you are a part of. Check the ATS score on resume wordit and other things. I see Arun and everybody in the team sharing so many links to a few this like sessions they have taken on resume. So do that, prepare your resume, get it checked by him. Then also make sure that one resume is not applicable to every job. It's the most important tip for the resume, that if you're preparing a resume, one resume cannot, so you as a person cannot be representing yourself the same in front of everybody. So it's like you're getting married, right? Let's say you're a guy, okay, you are seeing 4 girls for marriage, you're considering all of them, but will you represent yourself as the exact same guy in front of every girl? Might be a bad example, but depending on if
No,
she's reserved.
it's not Kavya. It's not a bad. It's a wonderful example. Where Prem Sai, I am sure Prem Sai is keenly listening to this example because he has many friends that he's evaluating. He's, if the smiley that you see from the Metro USA on the screen is not me, it's Prem.
Okay, fine. I mean, I don't want anybody to just leave the session, think of their marriage immediately, and say, okay, she mentioned something about getting married to 10 girls and, having considered all of them. Don't do that, guys. It's not correct. Okay. Trust one, be with one, be committed for life. But I don't know what's happening at the back of the screen. But I hope you guys are still there and not making a phone call that, hi, I'm ready, let's do it. No such intentions here. Okay, so
Like, what's your employability score? Based upon your employability score, I can go ahead and consider this proposal with you.
I think some people do actually consider, and it's so unfortunate that the salary pay range matters to get married. Especially, I feel bad for all the guys out there because they're always in this hustle of trying to quote a better salary package while getting married. I do understand the reasons, but I also understand how difficult it is to deal with this societal pressure of being in the top tier and also winning over somebody for life. So it's difficult, you guys. I do understand on that aspect as well. So don't worry, we'll figure something out. So yeah. Okay, so I think the resume is updated for all of you. If not, it will be updated. Only mention something that you can justify going ahead, and not something that you will feel stuck if it is asked at the time of interviews. And so the most important element of a resume that I feel people feel stuck on is the certification part. So let's say you have shown a certification in IB or Tally or Excel. Be prepared to answer everything revolving around that topic, even if it might or might not be relevant to your job, right? So let's say I'm being interviewed for a valuation profile only, but I have an experience in Tally. Let's say that the recruiter who's trying to interview me comes from a core accounting background and has worked with SAP, Tally, Taxman, etc. Or let's say he's a chartered accountant with an audit experience. He might just ask me, what in Tally have I done? That might not be relevant to the job, but that might be relevant for his interest in my profile. So this is yet another very important tip, that know each and everything in and out of who you are and in and out of what you mention in your resume, starting from your profile summary to your qualifications and everything. Well, I see a lot of questions, and the most important question I'd like to answer now is post graduation mandatory to enter a field in finance? What do you think, guys? Has any one of you encountered a situation where graduates get an entry level in finance, or let's say only a post graduation is important, only CA is important, MBA is important? Well, this is a very subjective question to answer. I'll tell you why. Because if you're a graduate, right, and if you are in a good campus, let's say you're working, have got a chance to be a graduate from Delhi University, from University of Calcutta, from University of any metropolitan city, which offers good placement opportunities. So my college, being in South Campus, also used to offer good ample amount of opportunities. So if you're a graduate, you might as well get into audit profiles, right? You might be getting a lot of work on research. You can work with CA firms or even big fours, but big fours don't generally prefer. I mean, the preference is definitely given to a postgraduate, but it's not a hard and fast rule, you know. So as I previously talked about the eligibility criteria being specifically mentioned on the job description. So it's always there. The job description will particularly mention about, what eligibility criteria is needed. So for example, if you want to work in Indian practice with an auditor, or let's say you want to be a part of the valuation team or a modeling team, but with the Indian practice, yes, in my experience, I have seen that ACCA, CAs, CS, all of these professionals are preferred, but a lot of, emphasis is also paid on your experience level. So you're free to apply to these companies if you're confident that, if not a chartered accountant, I know that I'm just an MBA, but through my experience, the company might be able to shortlist me. So always check the job description to see if you qualify for the job posting. Definitely apply if you qualify and if you think, it best fits your role. Second, if you're a graduate, I will always ask you that why do you not intend to do a post graduation? Either you get a good placement from your graduation, get a good kickstart with a good brand, or let's say with a good package or with a good learning opportunity, spend a couple of years there, but eventually I will always suggest you do a postgraduate, because in a world that we exist in at the moment, people are going beyond their post graduation. They are doing executive MBAs, they are even doing CFAs, and they are doing so many professional, in fact, globally renowned courses are being done by those students. So let's say you are being compared to a person who's a postgraduate applying for a same role, while you are a graduate coming from off campus. So when I talk of being placed from the campus, things are different, right? But if I talk of off campus, definitely try that. If you're not able to do a post graduation, let's say an MBA, then you must be having a 2-year diploma or a 2-year something that shows that you went beyond those basic skills of BCom and BA or BBA, and then you did something else to support what you've learned there, because your education is definitely a true representation of your knowledge and your adaptability in the organization. So, well, I think specific answers can be dealt with later. PGs are again preferred in short, but experience also matters, is what I wanted to highlight here. Now is the most important part of the session, and the most important, I think, part you guys have waited for. How do we get started? How do we begin? Right? So if you are a graduate, again, do a lot of courses, but put them to the practical use. I have already answered questions on how do you get the internships. LinkedIn. An early start in your career through LinkedIn will always help you. If you have good number of connections, if you have a well updated Internshala profile. So Internshala is a platform that doesn't provide opportunities to a lot of experienced guys, right? Because the name itself is Internshala, so it provides internships. It's only for freshers. Try to get into something there, right? Any specific questions? I'll answer that. I know a lot of things are there in your mind at the moment. Okay, so graduate ho, focus on, yeah.
मेरा एक बहुत important question है काफी. आपको थोड़ा सा smile break देता हूँ मैं. So one of the questions that people ask is, and this is the most important, ultimate question. So sometime back, last 2-3 months back, people said, why don't we, across the grocery, so many people, they're doing internships at so many different places, why don't we connect those people? So I took the ownership of doing that, and I created a big Excel sheet where we had everybody, wherever they were doing internships, they wrote their details, whether it's paid or unpaid, or where exactly they're doing it, what has been their experience, and blah blah. After a while, people stopped looking at it, and then everybody forgot it for 2 months, and now they're again asking after having selective amnesia. They're asking again, and now even if they're seeing the names and the experiences and where they can do it, they're saying, but how do I approach them? But how do I if I go to Culture Hire or the Sparks Foundation or the, there are there are thousands of places I can do internships from. How do you talk to them? What if they say no? Should I be asking for money? So this is a topic. This topic requires a whole class in itself someday.
Absolutely. I think, it comes out of your own fears and insecurities that you feel, how do I go approach them? They probably might have also approached those companies or rather anybody to fetch that internship. So you got to do that hard work before you mention that, what do I do about it? Take that step. The max can happen is that the person won't respond. They will say no to you abruptly, but are they the only one in the world? No, right? As you mentioned, Arun, you've prepared a greater list of lists, right? So the reason there are so many people out there is that if one doesn't work, you always feel confident about yourself first and hop on to the next one and grab that opportunity. But if you feel discouraged from the very first, that's not the way to deal with it. I know we do take rejections very personally, right? That is a human tendency, but why don't we take our achievements personally then, to a point that they overpower our fears, they overpower our insecurities? And this is something you realize when something good happens with you, and something good only happens with an achievement. I also would like to support with that, but your achievements are a direct consequence of your hard work. So it then comes back to the fact that how hard did you work to make to get good scores, to fetch for an internship? Are you internship ready? If yes, why will people not help you? Tell me. If they are not helping you, are you approaching the right people? That's how I think I would like to take this. So I'll have this one-to-one conversation with anyone who says like that, because it's a very customizable thing that they have to understand. What works with one will definitely not work with the other person. I might be a person who likes making a lot of notes, while someone will say, "Kya yaar, digital world hai. Why are you making notes?" I like making notes that help me retain better. So make it. No, don't let people drive your perceptions in life or your career path. And this is one thing I think that lacks amongst us, that we feel so we feel so ekdam se hum kisi ko itna importance dete hain that we let that person decide what we should do in our life. But I think the whole time I have only spoken about introspection. So it comes from within. You can't teach that to anyone. They'll have to learn to feel dejected, they have to learn to feel rejection and then get up again, face the world again. That is one trait of a human being we have been blessed with, that we can overcome challenges. But how do you do it? That comes with a lot of patience, right?
Kavya, my current challenge is I have to figure out where Zeros is in New Delhi, where you're eating the biggest ice cream ever in your YouTube video.
I'll give all those details. I think being a Delhiite, I have explored a few areas. So we will definitely catch up on that. And obviously, if some of these students also turn up and they are based out in Delhi and I feel they're quite serious about learning, I really don't mind having a meet and greet where I'll treat you guys with everything you want. But I want to
Actually,
see you booming out of the world like professionals. Yeah.
so Kavya, maybe yeah, you may not have known this before, but a lot of places like Hyderabad, Bangalore, New Delhi, Lucknow, all have had their meetups. So they do. So there are citywide COE groups which you are not a part of, but like if you be a part of Delhi group or Hyderabad group or Bangalore group, Chennai group or Nagpur group or Gujarat group, Prem Size Elite for Gujarat, and he's also the national lead. So these groups basically talk about just about anything. It can be, hey, I'm not able to find a flat. Hey, hey, let's talk about this. So I would love for somebody like you to be a part of at least a Delhi group, to be able to
Definitely, yeah.
energize and bring energy into that group. And you
I
can do
will.
virtual
Yeah.
meetups. You can do non-virtual meetups, because Chennai Raghavan from Chennai is very extremely active. Sanjay, of course, is very active in Bengaluru. So they have physical meetups where there are people from 20 different companies. They meet and talk about stuff, and it's a free flow kind of a thing with just a little bit of structure. But I would really I'll probably share some pictures from one of a lot of the meetups, but I'll connect you with Raghavan. And with that,
Sure,
I'm gonna
sure.
keep quiet and let you do the talking on the get started part.
Yeah, I'll definitely love to join, and would also be happy to connect with our juniors and seniors here, because that's always a pleasure to meet in person and talk about our experiences. So looking forward for the same. And yeah, I think most of you are still here, not bored of the conversations we are happening. Just try and interact, everyone, right? So I think we are reaching the end of the presentation. Although I still have a lot to share, but I'll take it more as a question and answer, because that will
Sure.
solve a lot of questions. So I think I just had a couple of things more to mention on this slide. For the graduates, I'll come back, because for them, we do have just internship opportunities available. We have a lot of short courses they can do. I will not ask you guys, especially in graduation, to focus a lot on external elements like these, because if you have scored well in your graduation, if you have your concepts and your subject knowledge well, that is beyond doing an internship or beyond doing any course. However, an added advantage helps, but not at the cost of you compromising on your subjects. Not at all. Yes, at the time of post graduation, if you score a little less as well, but it is backed by a good experience, good professional certifications, it helps a lot. If particularly you are planning to do an MBA, take your SIP extremely seriously, because when I was interviewed for Big Four roles, or rather any interviews I have done post my MBA, I was always asked about my experience at SMC Global Securities, where I have done my SIP, right? So what you can do differently is, in those 2 to 3 months of your SIP that happens as a part of the college, where the pressure is less, where there are no exams, you're not supposed to work for a 9 to 5 job. Rather, you are expected to just learn the practical of what you have learned so far. Try to go beyond just your internship, and do some courses from, if not that organization, do it from Udemy. Try to get those queries from your courses solved from your mentor in the corporate world. So what I used to do is, as a part of my SMC Global Securities experience, I got in as a research analyst. I could understand that this requires me to prepare a equity research report, which means I needed a good understanding of the technical analysis, right? I needed to understand, if so I have done a deep research on FMCG sector. I might as well share that report with you. It's an old report, but it might help you people to understand the flow of a report. So I did it for FMCG, and I realized that I might need a bit of finance help, or maybe help of the finance mentor to help me navigate through the not the research part, but the financial numbers part. And internally within the organization, I reached out to the person who was a stock market head, who was the regional head for the trading, etc. He literally allowed me to be a part of the sessions, and definitely he would not give me a certificate or whatsoever, but he allowed me to attend those sessions where I can learn a lot of finance and lot of technical subjects, and I could incorporate that as a part of my report. And my report, because it was an amalgamation of research as well, it was finance, it was coming from two different set of departments coming together. I got a PPO from SMC. I was really recognized, right? But it's not about me being recognized. It's about letting you people know that you have to always go beyond, not just in a job, but also in your internships. So be the best amongst the lot. And to be the best, you have to go and do something that others aren't doing. So it's as simple as, if everybody in the world has started preparing for an interview when the resume gets shortlisted, you should be the one who starts their preparation 2 months prior to your resume being shortlisted. That is the approach I have followed throughout my life. So if I have my final examinations in the next 3 months, I'll not wait for those 3 months to get close. I'll start my preparation at the starting of the year, and repeat it so much or practice it so much that it doesn't even feel like it's an exam. And hence today, if I was asked to take this session, or let's say if tomorrow I have to interview for a very big MNC or a bank, or even start off something of my own, I feel confident. Why? Because I have dealt with situations which have come up immediately. So you should always be always ready to kickstart anything immediately. And you will be able to take a session, you will be able to explain something, you will be able to help someone when you have your logics clear. The logic aspect should be absolutely clear. If I ask you, why is depreciation added back, you should know, okay, I know what is depreciation, but why is it added back? Have you ever questioned yourself? Being a BCom, आपने BCom में accountancy पढ़ी है. If I ask you that why is it a debit and not a credit, do you know? So these are the kind of questions I intend to answer for you guys. Okay, so you should always study hard, focus on the grades as a part of your academics. Once your academics are coming to an end, that is when you should be ready to kickstart on your corporate experience. Again, I have on my channel emphasized on a lot of importance on NISM certifications, on NCFM certifications. I will be talking about it now. Right now, do skills matter? 100%. Skills matter a lot. Some of the soft skills that must be a part of every resume, irrespective of whether it's a finance resume, it's from supply chain, it's data analytics, etc. Anything in the world that is there, you should have communication skills on point. Even if you don't mention it in your resume, it should be quite evident with the way verbally communicate, or you communicate a lot through your resume, right? So that communication should be very clear. Your analytical skills, if you are into numbers, if you are into analysis, if you are an analyst or a consultant, very important. Problem solving skills. Why? Because eventually you might have to take a decision 3-4 years down the line. You will be flooded with a lot of projects where you will have to decide whether you go ahead with this, you stop at this, do more research. So research is endless, right? There's no end to research, but where to stop, how to go about it, how do you amalgamate everything you've researched on, put it in a crisp way so that you are able to communicate it to the end user, is the most important part. So the financial management skills, financial management talks about the basics of whether how the supply of money happens. What finance is. Finance is all about creating money, right? Managing money and circulation of money. So I simply categorize finance as creation, circulation, and managing. So it's nothing but, you create the money. Who creates the money in the market? RBI, through its monetary policy, right? We have so many liquid assets, illiquid assets floating in the market. How are they circulated? How are they managed? They are managed through the financial institutions. So always try and answer questions like that. Leadership skills. You should be a good team leader as well as a good team player. Both are important and have their own pros and cons at different stages of your professional career. Time management and organization. So if we expect you to be here at 10:30, there is a reason. It's not that I mind teaching 10 people and I would not mind teaching 20, 40, or even 5. It's about getting started at the right time and being punctual. That has definitely helped me and will always help all of you in your life ahead. So make sure you're always punctual, you're on time, you're dressed up properly, what the session, the job, the internship is all about. Numeracy skills, it talks a lot about your reasoning abilities, right? So every Friday or every weekend, rather, what I intend to do, and let's do it under this platform, that we should be sharing a lot of reasoning skills with each other. We should share a lot of questions. So let's say your uncle's sister is not your aunt, then how are you related to her? I recently posted this video on my channel, so let me ask you guys and see if you are there. So the question is, your uncle's sister is not your aunt, then how are you related to her? Can anyone answer it?
I'm her son or daughter.
Uh, can you come again? I couldn't hear you. Should I repeat?
Yes.
Okay, so your uncle's sister is not your aunt. How are you related to her?
She is my mother.
Right. So do you know what I'm trying to do here? This is what you have to do with yourself. I have two or more tricky questions to ask. Let me do it, right? Okay. So tell me, what is 80 divided by half plus 10? Quickly, give me an answer. 80 divided by
50.
half plus 10. Okay.
170.
Any more answers?
40.
Okay. 40, 50, 170. Okay. Now you guys only think for a minute and tell me which answer is correct. 50, 40, or 170? I'll repeat the question. 80 divided by half plus 10. Tell me the correct answer. 50. Okay. Anyone who
30.
feels it's 170?
170.
How can you explain the audience? How?
If you divide 80 by half, it's basically 80 multiplied by 2, it becomes 160, and you add 10 to it, it's 170. Simple.
Yeah, it's simple for you, but sometimes we do get uh, like we panic and we feel that, oh, it's easy, so it's 50. What's wrong? But do we see what's happening here? It's about communicating and at the same time applying the logic. So this question is not a finance question, but it'll help you build on that mapping, and it'll help you refresh yourself time and again. So I will be asking such questions going ahead, and you can also expect to see a lot of short videos on this. So do make sure you participate in such questions. I have a lot of these, right, that I still want to ask. So let's say, what's the square of 35? Can anyone tell me without calculating? Like within 10 seconds, just tell me. Do you know the trick to calculate the square of numbers ending with 5? Square of 35, what is it?
1225.
How did you calculate that? Can you help us? Did you use a calculator? Be honest, it's
No,
fine.
ma'am.
हाँ, कैसे किया?
First, just number आया मैंने आपको बोल दिया.
Okay, what is the square of 65 if I ask? Without using a calculator, tell me. Acha, tell me what are the last two digits of any number if I square a number ending with 5?
25.
25. Okay. So the trick is, if it's a 2-digit number and I want to do a square, then it will lead to a 4-digit number, right? Ideally. So for numbers which are beyond 45 square and above, right? Till 95 square. Wait. Okay, let me not confuse you. Simply, if I ask you the square of 35, what you do is you take 2 and 5 in the last two places, and then what was it? It was 35 ka square, right? So you take 3 and then multiply it with the next digit. So the next number is 4. What is 3 into 4?
12.
So the answer is 1225.
Okay,
Are you
great.
getting
Thanks.
it? Right. So now quickly answer the square of 55.
3025.
3025.
Yeah. Any one of you can check if that's correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So at least if not nothing, you learned a trick today, right? So the objective is not to stay restricted to your specialization, but also add a bit of fun element to your life where you are questioning yourself. These are very basic things, right? Blood relations, numerical abilities, your reasoning skills. Maybe you might have done a lot of sitting arrangements hote na, A sits to the right of B sits to the left, or two places to the left of C. I know that we used to focus on these questions जब तो हम एक banking exam crack कर रहे होते हैं, या when we go for a CAT exam. So these are generally the starting point for any one of us, who is intending to give some public exams, etc. So many exams offer that आपको ये knowledge होनी चाहिए. Even if you want to get into big fours, right? I also had my aptitude test where I was asked a lot of reasoning questions. बहुत सी companies case studies लेती है. They have case lets, they have aptitude questions, they take a Excel case study. So in order to for you to be prepared, you have to deal with such questions. So despite having a job, despite being well settled, I still practice reasoning questions, at least 50 questions in 1 week. And if you guys can join me solve it together, there's nothing better than that, right? So tell me, are you guys excited and interested to do a lot of reasoning questions with me going ahead? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So I'll do the hard work for you. I'll get the questions. All you have to do is sit with me and solve it on paper in a live session. We'll do that. I promise you. Okay.
As
Okay.
long as
Moving
you
on.
can, as long as you can share the name of that ice cream thing again, I will do the questions myself.
What ice cream? I'll get back to you on this. I'm not getting it. Is it a part of some of my video or what? I don't know.
It's a part of a wonderful video where we're eating a really big ice cream, and it's in New Delhi. It's a zero.
Ambience. Oh,
Z.
0 degrees. Got it. Yeah,
I
that's my
have
favorite.
I
I'll
have no
get
clue
back.
what that is, but that's the one. That, my brain is stuck there.
I'll definitely send you more pictures to, get a little more water in the. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. ठीक है. We'll definitely get there. Sure. Okay, guys. So I think you guys are still here, excited, and lots to offer, lots to talk about. Now, which courses should I do to add value to my resume? right? I'll be restricting it to finance, although I have a colleague from consulting, who can also guide you. I think he's a part of this session. I'm not sure if Aviral is here, but he's a business consultant at EY, and he can guide you on the consulting. We can have that session later if Arun permits, for sure. But yeah, so let me talk of the practical knowledge you can gain out of these courses, and how you can leverage these in your day-to-day life or your jobs.
Are we
CFI
talking
website.
about, sorry, Kavya, are we talking about Aviral Mittal?
It's Aviral Single. I don't know if he's here. I can't see. Yeah,
Yeah, we will definitely
sure.
call you on the session with Aviral Mittal this time.
Sure. Perfect. Right. The reason being that, they might also see him a lot often on my channel, because we happen to visit office together. We shoot videos. We
Fantastic, fabulous.
collaborate with people. Yeah, great.
Excellent.
All right. So, guys, moving ahead, answering the most important question again. Where should I do it from? CFI website offers you a lot of free courses to do, right? Visit this website, see if there is something that you can do. Some of my suggestions would be, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, I have done a certification on math knowledge, right? It's called the capital introduction to capital markets. It's called the fundamental of math. So the fundamental of math, capital market, primary market knowledge. So a lot of courses are free on this portal. You can just go have a look, or probably you can take a screenshot of this slide and explore each one of these websites at a later stage. So Allison is there. You lead also. What has helped me is not just doing or paying for the courses, but if I take you to the career portals and to the websites of bigger companies which are into research, right? Protivity is one company. So Protivity, IP Source. So IPSOS is a company that I want you to just have a look at their website, right? Go to the websites of KPMG Insights. So I'll be sharing those links. I have prepared a list of the links for you. So you can just go to these websites, read a lot on their industry reports. So what they do is they very brilliantly, categorize different categories of industries, different service lines, different aspects of the economy, and within those categories they have a lot of recently published articles. Now understand that these articles are prepared by the employees working within the organization, and those employees have a vast set of experience, they have a vast set of skill sets, and are involved with preparing these reports. And they might have used all the available courses, they have used all the databases they have, all the paid and the unpaid sources to prepare that report. So there is nothing more authentic you can get as a part of your reading material. So the reading material, I also don't, so going ahead, don't expect me to provide you a lot of reading material of my own. Why? Because I know everything is out there. I just have to navigate you to where to get started from, right? Today in this session, I'm giving a teaser that you go read the articles from these big fours insights page. If you want, if we have time, I'll show you one of the pages and how do you navigate through this website. Okay. As I said, I have done my financial modeling course from IMS Pro School. But again, a big disclaimer that, they charge a little more for their courses, although they provide placement assistance. My suggestion, so I was a little naive back then I did not get a mentor who could tell me that don't do it, don't spend so much money, or don't do this. I ended up paying 40K for that course, which I will not say I regret it, because I learned from it. But now that I have a good understanding of valuation and modeling, I believe that you don't have to pay so much to acquire the basic skills of valuation and financial modeling, especially to get into a job. I'll tell you how you can acquire the same. So Udemy, Coursera, these are well known to you, I'm sure, right? A lot of you ask me, suggest me a good institute or a place to do financial modeling or valuation. Wall Street Mojo is one such website that has helped me develop on my concepts. They pick up a model from Amazon or PepsiCo, etc. So anyone who knows what is SOTP? SOTP. Anyone, any full form? It's related to valuation only, but can you find out for me the full form of?
Some of the parts, what it is.
Yeah, sum of the parts. What does that mean? Can you guess?
I did it for some project, I remember, but I just can't explain.
Okay, no worries. So there's
It's like
no.
it's kind of different techniques we do it was just on DuPont. I did it, I remember. We do different techniques and then we sum it off and then we find the real value, what we call intrinsic value.
Yeah, absolutely. So
It's a
as a
very
name,
vague idea I have.
no, you got a very good, you gave a good answer, and I'm happy that I am getting to hear this similar voice again and again. So I am expecting a DM from you for sure. Right. Okay. So yeah, yeah. Right. So the thing is that, as you mentioned, that SOTP is sum of the parts, which is again a valuation metric to consider. Sum of the parts, as the name suggests, there are conglomerates, right? There are companies which have a diverse set of revenue drivers. Their revenue is coming not just from India, but also from abroad. They are catering to a wide number of clients. Can we name a few companies? You just mentioned about you working on a project. I don't want to know the details, but can you name a few companies that might follow or might have a conglomerate structure or a complex structure?
I did it for ITC because ITC has a very different business. It's very fragmented. So they
Yeah.
have the major revenue coming from tobacco, cigarette business, and then it comes from retail sector of theirs. And at the same time, they are into agri products also, packaging also.
Yep.
ITC Infotech is also there. So I did it for 5 ITC subs.
Great, great. ITC is one company. Any competitor to ITC that we can think of on the same lines that might follow this SOTP approach? Are you there? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay, I just lost contact with the person who was just answering. Well, okay, so the approach is that, the reason I'm talking about SOTP is companies like Amazon, Reliance, ITC, PepsiCo, which have a very fragmented business approach, might follow, might follow that approach. So Wall Street Mojo and Wall Street, which is based out, I think, in Gurgaon, and they also offer replacement assistance. These organizations or these institutes pick up companies which are into SOTP, because under SOTP, as he mentioned, you will follow a lot of approaches to arrive at the entire value of the firm. So to arrive at the value of the firm, you will be dealing with a lot of valuation methods. So they follow this approach to make you learn through the process of financial modeling. Valuation looks very fancy, but in the end, it's all about you learning the methods of valuation, which you can individually also learn from elsewhere, right? I recently did a course from Udemy. It just costed around 500. It was not even something that you can't afford. And, it was an excellent course. If time permits, I'll be sharing the same in the group. Do remind me, someone, right? One of you can remind me of that. I'll do it. So that you can get started with. Imarticus Learning is there. LinkedIn Learning offers you so many profiles. And also don't forget to check on my YouTube, because whatever I have learned, I will definitely, so this is just a wink. With a wink, I am asking you to stay connected there. But jokes apart, I cannot compare myself to these great institutions at the moment, but I hope I'll be able to impart a similar knowledge to each one of you who intends to connect with me. So the broadly, the skill sets that a recruiter is expecting to see out of you, or the skills you should fetch out of these courses, should be related to your analytical skills. You should be in a position to start valuing a business. To value a business, you should be in a position that, you're already a research analyst, which means you should know how to research for an industry, how to research a company and also an economy. You are very friendly with the top down approach. You are a good you're in a good position to understand the financial statements of any business, what the revenue drivers are, what the cost drivers are, what the opex is, what the capex is. What is opex and capex, anyone? Full form of OPEX?
OPEX
Operational
stands for
expenses,
operational
capital expenditure.
expense.
Perfect, perfect. That's fine. So I see two of you are always in sync, right? That's very nice. Okay. Potential of being good friends, I believe, because, you always become friends with people first who you catch that vibe with, and something is there in common. So two of you can form an alliance, and then three of us can form an alliance anyway. So yeah, so equity research, fundamental analysis, a very good understanding of advanced Excel. See, Excel is not something you do it under a course. There are so many people who are generous enough to teach you Excel or guide you on how do you get started with Excel. If I am a recruiter, I will just let you know that you should be very good with the data tab. So when I say the data tab, you should know what is data validation. You should know about the what if analysis. Okay, you only tell me, anyone, because I want to test your knowledge. What if analysis में what are the three major things you see?
Goal seek.
Yes, right. Second,
It's like sensitivity, scenario analysis, both are there.
yeah,
Yeah,
goal seek,
scenario analysis is one of
goal
them.
seek, scenario manager, and what is the third one?
Okay, no, target is not there.
It makes me feel that Kavya is playing fastest fingers.
Yeah.
It's
Come
like
on, guys.
data table. Data table is there.
Data table, yeah. So the sensitivity that you mentioned about, right, that is incorporated in the data table. Scenario managers gives you the best, worst, and the neutral case when you are developing on a financial model. While the goal seek will help you, establish a particular interest rate or any sort of thing if you have a goal in mind that, you want to estimate something in particular. So I think it's pretty sorted, right? So the data tab takes care of a wide range of what we do. At the same time, you should be well equipped with the financial functions like FV, PV, IRR, NPV. You should know the difference between VLOOKUP and index match. What is the limitation of VLOOKUP? Anyone?
The limitation is like you can do it from left, but you can't do it from the right. So if some cells, some columns are at the right, you can't do the lookup function. Index match can do it from everywhere.
Very nice,
Direction.
very nice. Yeah. So I see we are a well-learned audience. I don't really think you guys need a hand holding, but certain things that we still need to work on, right? So it's good to know that, you guys have that amount of practice done. But also, as you said that this is what it is, and you already have an idea of how important Excel is. So I was asked in one of my interviews that what is a ribbon in Excel? Anyone? Have you heard of this
The
word in Excel?
upper tab, that whole of the which contains 7 tabs, that is called ribbon.
Above the sheet.
Above the
Yeah,
sheet,
yeah.
which contains all the 7 tabs, is called a ribbon. It's on the first page of Excel course.
You answered it correctly. It's a good answer for me, but we can't vaguely say the definition to a recruiter. And hence, I'm giving you an open ended discussion on this that you can write it down, get back to me with a very crisp one liner answer on this. Okay? Then, additionally, they can ask you a lot about conditional formatting. When do you use a conditional formatting? When do you set up rules? It's not important. They'll ask you. I have not encountered a lot of direct Excel questions being asked, but yeah, in some roles that require a lot of Excel to be done, and especially as freshers, they can extend the interview asking such questions. Okay? You should be very good with the syntax of these companies, of these formulas. So if I ask you what is the syntax of a VLOOKUP, आपने बहुत बार use किया होगा, but do you recall? Can anyone tell me what is the first thing you do, then the second, third? What is the
Lookup
syntax?
value, lookup
Yes.
array, and then the approximate or true.
There is one
True
more
or
thing.
false.
One more thing before true and false. You missed that. Array select करने के बाद क्या करते हैं?
I'll open
Will
Excel
you
and
not
check
select
these.
the column number you want?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Column number or row number.
So that is like that is everything in the formula.
That's the thing. He's missing the main thing
We
here.
we missed the most important thing, right? So okay, now another very logical thing. If VLOOKUP takes the column in the formula, then what will the HLOOKUP take? The row number.
Row number.
row
Right.
number.
So that means that you shouldn't really have to practice HLOOKUP separately. You just have to reverse the table and make it horizontal and replace the column with the row. Are you getting me? So your answers should be very smart. And that is how you crack an interview. So you always crack by being smart. You don't crack by answering everything in a lot of detail. So if somebody is asking me what is a VLOOKUP, what I used to do, I'll tell you. I mean, it's funny, but I used to start with explaining what is lookup first. Then I used to explain, okay, under lookup, we have VLOOKUP, we have HLOOKUP. Then I used to explain VLOOKUP. The recruiter is simply asking what is VLOOKUP. He might be interested to know that VLOOKUP means vertical lookup. So instead of going to the very basics of it, you can extend your explanation of lookup and say, so let me also talk about the limitation. Wherever VLOOKUP fails, I might have to apply a index match, because as you correctly mentioned that the drawback with VLOOKUP is that the value you're trying to fetch, or the lookup value, should be the first one in the table array. right? It should be a part of the first column in the table array. That is the limitation. However, index match doesn't have this criteria. But let me tell you, in my experience, that index match might not be used that frequently. But क्योंकि वो इतना frequently use नहीं होता है, even the senior managers or the people sitting above you might forget about it. They might forget how an index match is used, and that task may come to you. And if you are able to practice enough and then go to a company and say, why VLOOKUP, I'll use an index match, that also gives a good impression to the client that okay, he has done something technical. So people have a tendency to believe that if you worked hard to do something, it's good, like wow, we've cracked something great. So try to use VLOOKUP index match even in places you can use a VLOOKUP just for practice. However, if it is so required that VLOOKUP will work, then it works. Because so far in my experience at EY, I have always been recommended to use index match even if VLOOKUP can be used, right? So some of the couple of things, again, Excel is a very wide area to cover. I won't be able to take up everything. FSA and risk management, again, are areas you can explore. Right. So these are my recommendations. Just to add some extra cheese on the pizza you're going to have after the session, right? So how many of you like pizza? Tell me. Well, it's fine. Don't tell me because it's a long discussion that might happen. Right. So for finance, I generally suggest everybody to do whatever they want to do, but make sure you have one certificate or at least one or two of them from NISM. So NISM is by SEBI. However, NCFM is by NSE. What are these? SEBI and NSE, right? They're financial bodies, they're regulatory bodies. These regulatory bodies have formulated a financial institution, which is an education initiative, and they help people, get a registered certificate from these renowned brands so that you can get an edge over others. So they nowhere will guarantee a job, but will surely add a lot of value. So what is the benefit of these courses? They are not very expensive. So I recently gave an exam for NISM. It costed me around 1600 and is valid for 3 years. Right? These exams are valid for 3 years, and the beauty of it is that you can choose the date whenever you want. You can choose the exam center, which is generally the NSCIT building near your place. So in Delhi, one is in Jhandewalan, and the other one I think is a little far. I can't recall the place where is it at, but I usually choose the Jhandewalan location. It's the NSCIT building there, right? It's very close to the metro station. So all the centers they have are close to the metro station. It's just like a proctored exam, right? You go there, you give an exam. There are close to 100, 110 MCQ questions. 60% is the cutoff. You get your exam result there and then. The certificate is available to be downloaded within 3 days, and that's about it, right? An NISM certified person can openly flaunt it in their resume, mention it, with a grace on your face to the recruiter, because this is backed by SEBI, and hence you can go for it. Also, I believe that the learning that you get out of doing these courses comes as a result of the PDF and the study material that is formulated by experts from SEBI and NSE. So an added advantage of it is not just getting a certificate, but it is also the fact that, so some of the certificates I suggest freshers to do is research analyst, mutual funds, equity derivatives. Financial modeling is the NCFM module by NSE, right? Again, these can be planned as per your convenience. And the reason I tell you to do it is because as soon as you register for the exam, you get a PDF. That could be a 100-page PDF, 150-page PDF, 230 to 300-page PDF. But that PDF is enough for you to get started, even for a job, because it has everything from the very scratch that can be expected in an interview. I have the research analyst, book available with me. I can share it if you are really, really interested and are planning and wants to have or get a kickstart on that. Maybe I want to know what all subjects are covered under the research analyst NISM exam. You can get back to me on that, right? So it's about being interview ready now. Now that you've sorted out everything in life, you know where you want to go, resume ready here, you have done the certifications and added all the value additions in the resume. Some of the key concepts in finance, irrespective of the domain first, is a good understanding of the accounting concepts. So you should have a very good clarity of accounts, right? You should know the rules of debit and credit, the process of accounting, journal entry, ledger, trial balance. Okay, so can anyone tell me the flow of the accounting process quickly, very quickly? What is prepared first? सबसे पहले
Journal,
क्या?
ledger,
Journal.
trial balance, then financial statements, PL,
ठीक है,
balance sheet and cash
आप
flow.
पूरा जंप कर गए अभी।
Journal,
जर्नल से इतना जंप नहीं करना, रुको।
ledger,
जर्नल है, ठीक है, वेट वेट, अभी जर्नल से भी जंप नहीं करना है, वी आर स्टिल ऑन जर्नल। टेल मी जर्नल को और क्या बोलते हैं? व्हाट इज द अदर नेम ऑफ जर्नल?
Book of principal
book of main
entry.
entry,
The book of original entry, book of principal entry, fine, right? So it's the primary book of accounts, which it's the primary book of accounts that is prepared, and in which the transactions are recorded in a chronological order. What is the word chronology means? Anyone?
In a
in a
order like
sequence.
1, 2, 3, ascending order.
As and when they happen, right?
Occurred.
Date
Correct.
wise, right? ठीक है, journal बन गया. What will you do next?
Posting to the
Ledger.
ledger.
What is a ledger?
Ledger is a subsidiary book wherein we like have one head of account. Suppose it's cash, and we sum it up. Like we collate all the entries that have been happened to cash. At the same time, purchase. At the same time, sales. At the same time, creditors, debtors.
Good attempt. I just want to correct you here. Don't use the word subsidiary book. ठीक है? Just say it's a summary account wise, or it's an account wise summary of all the transactions within one head. Simple. Don't use words like subsidiary or ऐसा कुछ, ठीक है? It will mess up. Just a suggestion, ठीक है? Now try again on what is a trial balance. Tell me. Think a minute. Very crisp, very short. What is a trial balance?
Trial balance provides accuracy, like whether we have done the posting till date accurate, it's whether it's accurate or not.
It's accurate, fine, mathematical
Arithmetic
check.
accuracy.
But what is a trial balance? मतलब होता क्या है उसमें?
Some accounts are posted on debit side and some are posted on credit side.
हाँ, बट इसको वन लाइन में कैसे बोलोगे? ये थोड़ी बोलोगे आप कि कुछ डेबिट में
Trial
डाल दो,
balance is a statement of all the accounts that come from the ledger, and they
summary
are
statement of all the ledger balances. Can I say that? Summary
yeah,
statement of the ledger balance, है ना? Let's keep
correct.
it short. चलो, trial balance बन गया. Now what?
Balance sheet.
Final accounts.
Balance sheet
Balance
बना
sheet,
दोगे
yeah.
सीधा? वाह.
Not directly the
P&L
balance
account.
sheet, first the income statement. Everything
Trading and
happens
manufacturing account.
simultaneously.
हाँ, तो tell me in the so chronology word याद रखना है आपको. Chronology में follow करना है. तभी मैंने आपसे पूछा है. See, and this is something जो even people who are not speaking, if they don't know, then it's bad. Trust me, I'm telling you it's bad. Because finance का fundamentally accounting है. I want you to only खुद से ही आप इस स्टेज पे आओ जहाँ पे आप समझो कि फाइनेंस आया कैसे. फाइनेंस स्टार्ट कब होता है? When does the financial process start? Can you tell
Identify the
me, looking at the
When
transaction.
accounting
presentation?
ends.
When the bookkeeping ends,
Exactly.
right? So अगर आपको bookkeeping ही
Yes.
नहीं पता, how will you arrive at the financial statements? Tell me. I'm not asking you to make the ledger, make the trial balance. Everything is provided to a financial analyst. You get the financial statements. But वो बने कैसे ये भी तो पता होना चाहिए. Don't you think you should know the accounting process? Don't you think you should know the accounting standard? Don't you think कि you should know कि depreciation जो charge किया होगा वो straight line पे करा है या diminishing balance पे करा है? These things are important for you to know. Not to do, but to know, right? चलो, trial balance बन गया. Now tell me what is the first statement you prepare from the trial balance?
Trading and manufacturing account.
Manufacturing account? What happened? ये तो मैंने पहली बार सुना है. What is it called? Trading आपने सही बोला. Manufacturing नहीं बोलते उसको. क्या बोलते हैं?
Trading and
Accounting sense
P&L
में.
account.
Yeah, exactly. ठीक है. Trading
हाँ,
and P&L बन गया.
For P&L account, manufacturing account comes. Like trading account, then manufacturing, then P&L, then balance sheet. 4 accounts, 4 statements.
ठीक है. I believe you. Very good. अब मुझे बताओ P&L के बाद क्या बनाओगे आप?
Balance sheet.
और P&L, what is the bottom line of an income statement or a P&L? These are interview questions, I'm telling you. यही पूछते हैं वो. Tell me what is the bottom line?
Expense.
No. My question
Profit
is
after
what is?
tax.
Yeah, you're right. Let me just repeat my question.
But
So,
after
what is the
tax,
bottom line? Bottom line of an income statement. Think. Tell me now. But one of you answered. One of you answered correctly. Just repeat.
Profit after
Profit after
tax.
tax.
Yes, profit after tax. Okay. So the top line is revenue, the bottom line is income, profit after tax. From the profit after tax, आपने कभी कोई annual report देखी होगी तो income statement में profit after tax के नीचे और भी चीजें होती हैं. कुछ idea? Anyone can you recall क्या होता है वो?
EBITDA.
EPS, diluted EPS.
Basic EPS and diluted EPS. Correct. अभी के लिए इतना information is enough, but I'm just forming the basis of interview. ये चीजें interview में पूछेंगे वो. No matter your profile, this is very important. ठीक है? चलो, now you know income statement बन गया. Let's move on to the next. What is it? Next statement.
Balance sheet.
Balance sheet को और क्या कहते हैं? What is it called? Apart from balance sheet, what else
Statement
can you?
of balance.
No, no.
Statement
of balance नहीं होता. Balance की जगह कोई और word होता है.
Accounts. Statement of accounts.
Financial position.
Position statement. ठीक है, पोजीशन स्टेटमेंट बोलते हैं या फिर हम बैलेंस शीट बोलते हैं. नाउ टेल मी, इज द बैलेंस शीट प्रिपेयर्ड ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम और एट अ पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम?
At
At
the
a
year
point
end.
of time.
Both.
31st March.
बोथ किसने बोला है?
Mohit Verma.
हाउ कैन यू एक्सप्लेन?
Mostly it is prepared at 31st March, but in case in the middle of the year, just in case, for example, I want to invest in your company, then I'll take all the financials and how it have performed in the quarter months. Then we'll prepare a balance sheet so that I can see how you have performed in the quarter and I can invest or not. I want to invest or not.
Your perspective is correct, Mohit, and from that perspective, it's fine. But if I have to interview you, for me, it'll be an incorrect answer. I'll tell you why. Because आपने बोला कि sometimes it happens. So let's say, and you're right. So let's say कि कोई company 30th of September की valuation date पे मुझे analyze करना है. So I would need the numbers as of 30th of September. ठीक है? But when I'm saying is it prepared over a period of time or balance or at a point of time, I mean इनकम स्टेटमेंट में जो आप रेवेन्यूज देखते हो वो रेवेन्यू आपके पूरे साल में या पूरे क्वार्टर में या 15 दिन में या हाफ एनुअली अर्न होते हैं. ठीक है, बट जब मैं बैलेंस शीट के फिगर्स की बात करती हूँ, व्हेन आई टॉक ऑफ द एसेट्स एंड लायबिलिटीज, आई सी कि आज के दिन, आज सुबह मेरे पास कितने वर्थ ऑफ बिल्डिंग बची है. आई डोंट सी कि ओवर द होल ईयर उसकी क्या वैल्यू है. ठीक है, मैं सी आज के दिन, as on today, what is the date, those are the figures that go in the balance sheet. So what you are saying is कि balance sheet को कभी भी prepare कर सकते हैं depending on the situation. A company might prepare a half yearly balance sheet, it might prepare a quarterly balance sheet, and that happens. But that balance sheet is also not representative of over a period of time figures. That is still representative of at a point in time. मतलब चाहे आपने आपका फाइनेंशियल ईयर लेट्स से जनवरी में स्टार्ट हो रहा है, आपने 3 मंथ्स की बैलेंस शीट देखनी है, तो 3 मंथ्स की बैलेंस शीट का मतलब ये थोड़ी है कि आपके फाइनेंशियल्स या बिल्डिंग की वैल्यू चेंज हो जाएगी विद इन 3 मंथ्स, या बिल्डिंग की वैल्यू, ये हो सकता है कि बिल्डिंग में एडिशन हुआ है, बिल्डिंग में डेप्रिसिएशन लगा, तो ओनली डिफरेंस इज यू विल अप्लाई डेप्रिसिएशन फॉर 3 मंथ्स एंड देन अकाउंट फॉर दैट ग्रॉस वैल्यू ऑफ द फिक्स्ड एसेट, बट योर बैलेंस शीट विल ऑलवेज बी एट अ पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. It will never be during a point of time. That is the clarity I wanted to give. जो इनकम स्टेटमेंट होती है that is prepared over a period of time, right? But again, this calls for a long discussion. I can again, this is not the scope here. The only objective was to check, and good attempt, Mohit. I mean, not to discourage you, but you have tried well. But I hope you understand my perspective also.
Yes, I
Right.
understand that. Yep.
ठीक है, great. चलो, okay then. So we know all of these fundamental things, and trust me, as simple as it appears, as simple as they ask in the interviews. So for any finance or accounting interview, this is the starting point that I have seen recruiters pay more attention on. They might ask you a lot about the components of the income statement, the components of the balance sheet, which obviously I'll not go into the details, but I just at this point want you to confirm if you know that balance sheet is based on which accounting equation. So what is the accounting equation through which the balance sheet is prepared? Again, taking you back to 11th class.
Assets equals to liabilities plus equity.
Correct. So equity is also called net worth. It is it takes liability and equity section is considered as the total liability section, and that should be equal to the total assets. That's correct. Fine. बैलेंस शीट बन गई, बैलेंस शीट बैलेंस मैच हो गई आपकी, कंग्रेचुलेशंस, सब कुछ सही चल रहा है. नेक्स्ट स्टेप,
Cash flow.
कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट. कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट वी ऑल नो, यू गाइस कैन चेक. मैं अभी इतना टाइम स्पेंड नहीं करूंगी, बट द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन ऑन कैश फ्लो इज which is the most important financial statement and why? Tell me.
Recall the question.
I'll repeat the question. Which is the most important financial statement and why?
Cash flow.
Cash flow statement, because
You all
it
agree?
shows us the flow of cash, like how much cash is coming in business and how much cash is going out of the business, and it's
What
also
if it's
divided into like financing. Yeah, sir.
what if it's a manufacturing business and there's not a lot of cash inflow happening, or there's not a lot of liquidity? Let's say it's a manufacturing business which has a lot of fixed assets. So will your answer change depending on the industry also?
No.
Be confident. Tell me.
Yes.
No.
Not sure.
Can you repeat the
Perhaps
question?
yes.
So the question, the question is that which is the most important financial statement? That is the first question. Most of you are said cash flow. Then the follow-up question is that whether your answer will change depending on the industry you are trying to see. So if it's an industry which has which has less amount of cash involved, will that impact your answer?
For me, yes.
Okay. ठीक है. ठीक है. I'll wait for you guys to research a lot on it, because I do have a lot of things to say on this, and it's very important for me to walk you through the format of the cash flow statement to be able to answer. Generally, just to give you a clarity, yes, most of the time you always answer it is that it like generally the best practice is that best practice we mat bolo. Generally, cash flow statement is the most important financial statement amongst all others, because it interlinks the income statement and the balance sheet. It starts with the bottom line of the income statement, that is profit and surplus as per profit and loss. It adjusts for the non-operating expenses and non-operating incomes, right? It does that, right? So it's not just because it talks about the liquidity or the cash position. It is also important because it interlinks the other two statements, incorporates them into this statement, and gives a true and fair view of the business. It also talks about the investing activities. It talks about the financing activities. Hence, you don't just get a picture of cash or liquidity, but you also get a picture of, what the investment position is, what the financing position is, if the company has redeemed some debentures, if the company has taken up more share capital or not. Okay, so it intends to answer questions beyond whether the company has a liquidity position or not. Hence, it is considered as the most important, in the sense that it should be prepared with utmost sincerity, and should be also studied well by a financial analyst before preparing a report. That was my objective to deliver at this moment. So I'm absolutely clear on the first 2 points. The third one comes automatically: NPV, IRR, net working capital. You should know what leverage is. You should know operating leverage, combined leverage. What is the importance of having interest rate? Okay, so tell me, is interest tax deductible or not? Simple question. Okay, I'll frame my question again. Will having debt in your company, so let's say you're a business owner, okay, you have 80% of your own money invested, but 20% of it is debt. So will that 20% help you save tax or not? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
It will
How?
help you.
How?
When you see the EBIT, EBIT, after that we deduct the interest expense, then we did go for the taxes. So we are saving some amount of tax here, but I don't know, there's a specific term for this.
Tax shield.
Yeah, tax shield. Tax shield. So tax shield, we get that saving, that amount of saving is our advantage of having debt in the balance sheet.
Correct. So now tell me, now answer my question. Is interest tax deductible or not?
It is.
It is. Right. It is. Okay. Now, is depreciation tax deductible?
Yes.
No.
Honestly, it's not, but the format of the P&L, the vertical P&L we are following, it shows as it is.
Okay, I want you to research more on this. Okay, Abhi, I'll not confuse you guys, but no, it's not tax deductible. Interest is tax deductible, and hence, when you study valuation, the understanding of enterprise value, free cash flows is very important. So I'm sure some of you might have heard, or at least know the word FCFF and SCFE. Anyone who knows?
Yeah, free cash flow basically is a measure of cash. One is free cash flow to the firm and one is free cash flow to the equity holders. It's basically, I answered this when I go. Basically, to the firm is like the cash that is available after removing the capex and everything. So first is the capex, free cash flow, then all the fixed expense and everything what is left. And when we remove the debt side of it, we get free cash flow to equity. When we have the debt side of it, it's free cash flow to the firm.
Hey Devrishi.
Does it sound like a good answer to you?
Hey Devrishi.
It does not. I just
That's fine, but I
I
mean,
actually read
see, I'm being very blunt because you are being so participative, right? And my objective is not to just swipe you off the feed. Wow, what an answer! I'll not do that. Okay, I'll bring you back and say, "Ki, there is still a better way to answer." So just that. Okay, good attempt. Nice. Anything else from the audience who wants to contribute?
मुझे ये जरूर पूछना है कि देव
So,
ऋषि जी किस सिटी से हैं? देव ऋषि जी आप किस शहर से where are you from?
Sir, I am from, currently I am in Pune, I am from Kolkata.
Understood. One of these days you'll be on screen.
Sorry, sir?
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
But I'm very happy that you're participating so well because this is the kind of audience I absolutely love, and I whenever Kavya is here, you must be there.
Sure, sir, I'll always be there.
Right. So I hope you didn't feel distracted from that. I'm still going to be after your life to answer question on, okay, so let me frame it a bit more, for your clarity. And you only tell me, that, I mean, I couldn't get your name. Can you just repeat once again? Dev Rishi, right?
Dev
Yeah,
Rishi
Dev
Dulani.
Rishi.
Okay, so Devrishi, it's again a follow question for you for the audience that, tell me, is the value of the firm equal to the free cash flow to the firm according to you? So let's say I want to value a business and I estimate a value called the value of the firm. So kya wo value of the firm is same as the free cash flow to the firm?
Both are two different things. In my view, what I've studied, free cash flow is something we used for value. We use it for valuation. We discount the free cash flow and we derive some numbers. But value of the firm is very different from free cash flow to the firm.
You actually said it already. So you discount the free cash flows at some rate and then arrive at the value of the firm. So value of the firm is different from free cash flow in the sense that it is the free cash flows are discounted to arrive at the present value, right? Now, what is that discount? Can you see some word on my presentation and that word is a discount rate?
Cost of
Just try to
capital.
find that word. Yes, it's cost of capital, but just give me the acronym here from the screen.
WACC.
What is the full form?
Weighted average cost of capital.
So when I talk of the firm, right? Firm means, what does a firm means? It means it considers the returns, it considers the free cash flow which is available to whom? It's the free cash flow which is attributable to the equity holders and also to the debt holders, right? So when I talk of the
Correct.
firm, I take care of both the parties. And hence, what I should consider is the weighted average cost of the equity also and the cost of debt also. And always remember that, when we discount back such things, it's important and it calls for a discussion whether we should use WACC or whether we should only use the cost of equity. How will you decide that? I think it's quite clear now that these things depend on how the capital structure is formulated within a business. If there is almost no debt, what will happen? Tell me.
Cost of equity will be used to discount.
Exactly, because, or in a way, cost of equity will be ideally equal to the WACC only for the first
Correct.
year, right? But if there is preference shares, then preference shares are also a source of capital, although it's a part of equity, but They have a separate way of being calculated as a part of WAC. See, the whole objective for you is finance might be an easy thing to, feel good about. It's something that will always make you feel, I want to do this, I want to be a financial analyst. But also understand that what goes at the back of it is a lot of practice on these concepts. So it's equally mind boggling, right? It's equally very tiring, it's equally very technical. As some of you might have also slept by now, I'm not sure how many of you are already in sleep, but those who are active will agree, right, that ये चीजें बहुत टेक्निकल लग रही होंगी आपको भी, and because you can recall it from your experiences, you are okay. But someone who cannot recall will feel, यार बहुत मैं कैसे करूंगा, मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा. And it's fine if today you feel कि मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आया, तो कल आपको शायद थोड़ा सा हिट करे कि मुझे ये पढ़ना चाहिए. So this is the only reason I've spent so much time. Otherwise, literally for the first session, I would have not spent so much time. I think kitna time ho gaya, I don't even know the time. Right? So guys, it's cutting it down now. I think after, so these are some of the topics that are the starting point, right? I've not even got into the advanced part of it. This is very basic that everybody should be expected to know. Now, additionally, if you are trying to target roles such as corporate finance, business finance, valuation, investment banking, M&A related roles, right, you should have a good understanding of accounting process. I talked about it. Second one also, I said Indian accounting standards, US GAAP, IFRS standards should be clear to you. The taxation system in India and in the US, try to focus on that. What are the industry best practices? So when I say industry best practices, right, try to talk to people and understand that, so let's say if you ask me, being a valuation person, that okay ma'am, do you use a beta for 3 years or do you use a beta for 5 years? Do you also use a beta for 1 year? What do you do? So talk to people and see what the best practices are. Abhi jaise humne discuss kiya on the concept of WAC, ask me, do you always use WAC? Have you seen a situation in which you use cost of equity? Are you getting me? So these kind of questions should be there in your mind already, and you should be prepared with a long list of questions that you are ready to ask the people from the industry. They tell me, is this done like that? Is it done like that? Right? Particularly to answer your questions on taxation, I have a video which will be uploaded at 4 p.m. You can tune into that to answer all your questions on valuation, on taxation, right? So I have incorporated the skill sets needed for taxation, who can enter, the salary range, the certifications in tax, what job is there, etc. So have a look. Okay. For valuation, I am here. Financial statement analysis is the most important. The format, the component, interlinking, tools of analysis, which includes horizontal analysis, vertical analysis, common size and comparative analysis, right? Ratio analysis, dew point analysis. So what is dew point? Devrishi, I think you mentioned or Mohit mentioned about dew point. Dew point का क्या बताता है dew point? बस आप इतना बताओ. That's it.
Dew point is basically, if you just, there are 5 ratios in dew point, but if you sum it up, it's just return on equity, but
Correct.
you just calculate it from different sides to understand what is the different verticals of a business performing. So it's like tax, I just don't remember, it's return on equity, then we calculate the leverage at the same time,
And
then we do the tax effect also, then we do uh, the cost effect also, and then when we summarize all of them, we get the return on equity. At the end, it's a mathematical equation that gets cancelled and we get return on equity.
Yeah.
But the return on equity gets divided into 5 fronts or 3 fronts. You can do 3 also, you can do 5 also, you can do even 7 also, and you can analyze one business or one income statement from the 7 areas, and you can analyze, okay, the business leverage is high, so this is high, and if the leverage is down, this is down. That's the
Absolutely.
analytical
Yeah.
view.
On point, absolutely. So as you correctly mentioned, that it breaks down the ROE into various factors, various ratios, and hence a good understanding of each and every ratio is important to understand your return ratios, because eventually as an analyst you will be expected to calculate returns on the portfolio, returns on the assets, returns on XYZ, right? So calculate those returns, you'll be using ROE, ROCE, ROI. So ROI, ROC, all these things are further divided. There could be a 3-point equation or a 5-point equation. I think as you talked about the impact of tax, etc., that's a further 5 point. And all of these are multiplied together to eventually arrive at the formula for ROE. What is the formula for ROE?
It's simple net worth, net profit by net worth.
Yeah, so the numerator is the net income and not EBIT. But
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I consider the return on
Mostly.
capital employed or the total return to all the equity, all the shareholders, then I
Then
take
you
EBIT.
do it
I
EBIT,
don't
yeah.
take PAT. Why? Again, a very logical reason which we'll discuss going ahead. Okay, so as you can see, I think completely covered everything mentioned on the slide. I talked of advanced Excel. I talked about financial management, valuation, FRM, and modeling. Right. This again I've already covered previously. Additionally, risk management and VBA. If you have a good understanding of Visual Basics and advanced features in Excel, it helps. And you can be a part of the modeling team, because what differentiates the valuation team from the business modeling team is that modeling team would have to know a bit of the technicals behind the Excel model. The valuation guys rely on the report, on the models provided by the modeling team, and then they do a lot of their analysis to summarize. Okay. An added advantage of different languages, Power BI, Tableau, SQL is an added advantage. Everything else is about your research abilities. And the most important of all, coming to an end, the 3 C's, which form the basis of everything in an interview. Well, I have repetitively talked about it, and I want to just open it out for you guys to guess what these 3 C's can be. So these are adjectives, nothing technical. Think of the most important 3 qualities you should have as a person to bag a job in any area, starting from C.
Confidence,
Perfect.
consistency,
Yes. What's the third one? What am I doing right now?
Competence.
communication.
Communication.
Absolutely. So always follow these 3 C's in life, right? And there is one more S. What is that S?
Smile.
Correct, right? So I hope I have managed to maintain my smile till the end of the session and you guys have enjoyed it too. Just to let you know that, you already know, I'm not going to reiterate, but you can follow me through, you can get in touch with me, let me know in the same group if you have questions. And yeah, finally we are open to the Q&A and happy to know your questions and queries. Let me know however I can help, right? Yeah. Also, guys, just before you say something, I will be sharing a link to this CFA Institute article, right? It talks in detail about the sell side and the buy side financial analysts. You can still see my screen, right? Yeah. Okay. So this will give you a much better picture of, what the top skills are, as you can see. Right? It has everything. So I'll provide you that. Also, I have a list of a few interview questions that I have prepared from my experience. I'll just show you around. I think I've already asked a couple of them. So we had a little mock round of interview today, right? Walk me through the income statement, balance sheet, all of these are prepared as per my experience so far, right? So I'll just be sharing
Can you
these
please
4 with
share
you.
this list?
Dear, I will be able to, but then it's a very exhaustive list. I'll only be able to share it with you, if you are serious and you because this has been, as you understand, prepared with a lot of hard work. So it goes out to the people who are literally very serious about their careers in finance, which means we'll have a one-to-one session. If I believe you are there, you'll have it with you, definitely. Okay, great. So now I'm open to questions. Let me know if you want to know anything. I'll be sharing the yeah links with you guys. Can I have some questions if you're still alive and not sleepy, guys? Also, a few feedbacks will really help.
Shiv Chai Shivasa is asking, ma'am, can you please say about I got to do it. Can you please say about careers in tax in Big Four for undergraduate students?
Okay, so Shiva, for taxation as a career choice, I think I reiterated that there is a long, very long video coming on the same with an expert working in Big Fours for the last 5 years. So that video will answer all your questions. But as far as undergraduates are concerned, yes, if you got through your campus in the audit and tax profiles, that gives you an added advantage. But generally, they prefer CAs and CS of people coming from outside. So as you understand that, especially if I talk of big fours and EY, Deloitte, KPMG, they have an Indian practice where, or they even have their global practice where they might need you guys, but they have a clear distinction because they have a set of percentage that they have to offer to the colleges and hire people from those colleges that they have an association with. Right. So if your college comes under their ambit, then you will certainly get a chance to work there as at an entry level. However, if you are applying externally off campus, it gets a little difficult, but I can at least help you guide on the career skills or the skill sets that you can acquire as tax. After you watch the video, you can come back to me if you have some questions. Just comment down in the same video if you still have questions. I think that will help. Okay. Now, which of the following finance roles requires less or no knowledge of the stock market? Madhura, no role in finance would directly involve you to have knowledge of stock market, because these are all very functional roles, right? Especially valuation, etc. So they don't require you to know how the market is performing. It is only required to a point that you have to prepare a equity research report. तो आपको एक technical view देना आना चाहिए. But it's not important कि आपको वो incorporate करना है. In my last 3 to 4 years of experience with internships or with my corporate experience, I have never, really got deeper into the stock market, except the fact that I might be having an interest of the same. Okay, so for someone who is not interested much, so you don't have to worry if you're not interested in the stock market. Only if you get in companies like Sher Khan, IIFL, Motilal Oswal, right, which are providing broking services as a primary revenue generating activity, they might expect you to know the technicals apart from the fundamentals. But these audit firms which have private clients, no, they don't expect you to know the stock market in detail. Yes, a very basic understanding of the stock market, probably some certificate you might have done. Rely on Zerodha Varsity. Have you, any one of you heard of it? Zerodha provides a lot of, free material to read from. That is enough.
Yes.
More than enough. आपको कोई कोर्स नहीं करना है स्टॉक मार्केट पे. आप खुद ही इतने इंटेलिजेंट हो कि आप मार्केट को डेली ट्रैक करो फॉर. So what I did, or what I suggest my people who are doing an internship, is open the indexogram from NSE website. ठीक है, this is a starting, very basic. Indexogram पता है क्या होता है? It considers the top 10 or 15 constituents by weightage. उसमें होता है industry wise सबकी क्या weightage है. So what you do is the top 10 major constituents of Nifty 50. Let's say ITC contributes XY percentage, Reliance contributes. Try and find out the top 10 constituents of Nifty 50. Once you know, try to estimate कि वो 10 companies जो हैं उनके financials कैसे हैं. First point. Fundamentally. Again, look at the chart patterns of these 10 companies. अगर आपको कोई problem हो रही है, if you want a bit of an idea on how to read the candlesticks, पहले free sources को use करो. Use the free sources first and then hop on to the paid ones, is what I would suggest. But this amount of knowledge is enough. You don't need any additional in-depth analysis of stock market. I hope that answers your question. Any other questions, anyone? Or if I missed anything earlier, we can even take it up later in the group or a separate session on the Q&A, because I am equally tired. In fact, I can't tell you, I am really like on the go.
But I must say, Kavya, your delivery was very confident, very professional. You created a positive and engaging atmosphere. Whatever questions we had, you've been able to provide clear explanations, and you made the content very easy to understand. So those are all your, good qualities, that you kept the presentation very engaging. So this presentation was not just about finance, Kavya, and the audience. This presentation is about how to deliver a good presentation, how to all human beings get tired. We're all human beings, right? But at the end of the day, if Kavya was sitting in an interview, in a stress interview, where you have 3 or 4 rounds on a single day, do you think if Kavya was one of the competition in your interview, who do you think would have got selected? Think hard about it. You don't have to answer this question. I just wanted to think about it. And this is what it takes to be a professional. Um, so, and of course, Kavya, she has right from her schooling, as we saw in the initial stage, she's been very knowledgeable. She presented valuable insights. So all those qualities are excellent. And Madhura is a part of many groups. She says she planned to attend. She planned not to attend the session because she's so busy uh, being a butterfly in 100 groups, and she has a lot of important activities in life. All her sisters are engineers, and she's the only one in finance. Uh, but like she's saying, I'm glad that she attended and got many valuable insights. So I know my I know my people very well, extremely well. So anybody that writes anything in any of the groups, I literally know everything about them, um, whether they believe it or not. I mean, that's why I'm known as a super ghost. Um, but thank you so much, Kavya. I mean, I have no words to thank you enough for this wonderful session, and I would love for you to. So, I mean, of course, today's session went long only because there was an initial um, introductory kind of a thing, and then you had actual presentation, which was very deep, and it was a deep dive, but very much needed. So future presentations will try to keep on select topics an hour, and I really look forward to those. I mean, I'm so happy that you're here. And
Likewise, I mean, it's a great opportunity for me to get to learn from everybody, and it fills me up with excitement that we have Dev Rishi, we had Mohit, so many people participating and also keeping a camera on. Thanks for that. You've got a good smile, Dev Rishi. Next time, I want you to be hosting with me, Arun, and everybody, right? So let's also
Surely,
encourage each other for that.
yes,
Yeah.
surely, surely.
one really good thing I found was that a lot of people, yeah, exactly, a lot of people participated in. Nikhil Uppal stayed till the very end. He's called as the king of Patiala for a reason. He's an engineer MBA and a very talented young guy.
Okay.
Um, uh, and he's done Power BI, Alteryx, and other things, and
I'm
very
still
smart.
trying to understand his DP from what he's put here. I don't know if it's what does it signify?
Oh, he just has. He always has one of these uh,
I
pictures.
think it's a namaste, right?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Namaste fun picture. But
Yeah.
he's very talented. He's also done an interview with us. Uh, I would really say, uh, the recording will go out to a very wide audience, and I'm sure uh, Kavya people will reach out to you. So, guys, I must tell you that please understand that Kavya is a full-time professional. Do reach out to her, do subscribe to her channel, uh, uh, ask her questions, but please give the context and please allow her some time to answer you, because it's not like she's always sitting in this mode, uh, ready to answer questions. Please give her the time to enjoy her life on Saturday, Sunday. Please give her time to have her wonderful ice cream at Zeros and other places. Please give her time to dance during her various functions. If you look at her YouTube videos, she dances wonderfully. So all those, all those, and she has got great messages about gratitude and family and stuff. So, um, so please be gentle, guys. With any of the speakers we have, because they're pouring their heart and soul out, and the least they can expect is basic professionalism and dignity. With that, Kavya, I am again offering you my applauses, my flowers, my thumbs up, the love, the smileys. I mean, pretty much, um, and no words, Kavya, literally. Uh, guys, निखिल जी, you will understand this. मैंने बोला था कि
Yes, sir.
निखिल, मैंने काव्या जब यहाँ आने वाली थी, मैंने इनको 5 मिनट पहले बोला कि आज दिल्ली की शान आपके हाथ में है. दिल्ली
I hope I've been able to do justice to
नहीं,
every or the people full of
आपने आज
energy here.
आपने आज बहुत मेहनत से और बहुत दिल के साथ आपने दिखा दिया कि दिल्ली वाले किसी से कम नहीं है. तो आप दिल्ली की शान है. आज से यू आर द हॉल ऑफ फेम ऑफ न्यू दिल्ली.
Oh my God, that's such a big title. I think
Yes.
I'll just go with this. it's V for valuation, V for victory. So, right, I wish
Fantastic.
you guys all the happiness and thank you so much for hosting me, Arun. It's been
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
And yeah, hope to
Thank
connect
you,
with all of
guys.
you soon. Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
guys. Thank you, audience. I will shut the recording off so that all of us can take a much needed rest. And we have in the evening we have Sanjay, I guess. What's his name? Prem Sai is still here. You've had your eggs. If you've had your eggs, please say that you're still here. But we have a session from on Nikhil. कब है वो session?
सर 8 p.m. को संजय सर का और I think 6 p.m.
6:30.
we have
Yeah.
Ellen with us.
We have we have Ellen on Excel, which is very wonderful. Ellen from Malaysia, and we have Sanjay on Power Automate. These two sessions
At
are
8
also
p.m.
going to be phenomenal. But I'm going to tell Sanjay that I just love Kavya's session, and now this is my standard for all all the future sessions. So they'll have some they'll have to they have to fill in some big shoes. Alrighty, guys. Thank you. Bye bye. See you all.
Arun sir, I just wanted to say something.
Boliye. You can say, please say.
Yeah, sir. I attended so many sessions last 5 years. The moment I met Kavya ma'am in last year month of December is completely life changing. She taught me the value of life, the valuation, the way she teaches now is mind blowing. Is easy to understand people. I think Kavya ma'am knows my name. That last 10 months I was following her. Whatever she posted, I reacted her post and all. Yeah,
So
it is an honor
I
to
have
meet.
just to check. I hope you are not one of the paid participants.
I was about to say, Umesh, no discount on anything because of what you said. I think it should come from your heart. And no offense. I think he's always been that one
No, I was
active
just
person who's
yeah, I was
always,
just
poking me. Session नहीं आया मैम बहुत time से video नहीं डाली कब डालोगे? So we need people like you. We all need
absolutely,
students like you, and
absolutely.
we should be mentors like each other. So thank you so much, Umesh, for your wonderful words. I was
Thank you,
compelled
ma'am.
to switch on my camera again and say it out in person. Thank you so much. Have a
Kavya,
Thank you
wonderful
so much.
weekend ahead.
I must tell
Today,
you, I look at
today,
YouTube videos not more than 2 minutes, but your video on a couple topics and just the general energy, it made me watch the video end to end. And for somebody at my um, let's say age and the stage of life where I am, and then I told you about my background, Kavya. If somebody like me can watch a video for more than 2 minutes, it's like a greatest achievement that I'll probably give. And I'm I'm very happy. All that I can say is I'm super happy. You are the Shan of Delhi.
Oh my God. Thank you. I'll maintain that title forever in my life. I hope.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Yep.
everyone. I'll just give a moment to Umesh to complete. I think
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
sure, sure.
speaking and then he went on mute. Umesh, you want to
yes,
complete? Huh.
yes, ma'am. Today we are working. So the moment you send this session link, so I thought I should join. And the moment you started the sharing, I felt that I should listen to you all the days long while I'm working. So that's why I hadn't left. So still I'm with you, ma'am. Thank you so much. It is an
Wonderful.
honor to start my journey with you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks to you, Mesh, for being so consistent and being there in this session as well. I'm sure you will, keep motivating others to be a part of such power-packed sessions, not just by me, by others, and you'll keep learning, each one of you. So with that, I sign off for today and have a great lunch, all of you. I'm also craving to have ghar ka khana. I think my mom
Exactly.
would be in that position of saying, "Ho gaya, chalo, khana kha lo."
And
So
Kavya,
I'll just go have fun.
someday we need a quantified resume from you from our COE. Not in exactly the same format, but like a format, a special format will be designed this for you, but it has to be quantified, and we'll talk about this later.
Sure, we will. We will. And a good night to you, Arun. I hope you will go to a good sleep now, and all of us will get started for the day. So happy
It's
weekend, everyone. Keep
it's
learning.
it's only 4 a.m.
Oh my God.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye
Sure.
bye.
Bye
Thank
bye,
you so
guys.
much. Keep
Bye.
smiling. Keep smiling. Be like Kavya. Keep smiling.
Thank you.
I'm closing this down now. All right.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye.